So, what you doing over there?
Just posting an update.
Yeah, we need to talk about your status updates.
Why?
Because they're coming across a little arrogant.
Arrogant? What do you mean?
Well, let's take a look here, shall we? Let's pull up your profile. Here we go. Just save the day. Just save the day. Just got back from saving the day. Here I go to save the day. Just save the day twice. I'm saving the day. Just save the day tagged with Wonder Woman. Just save the day. And you just posted something new. What does it say? Just saved the day.
Yeah, I just rescued these people while you're reading that.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Rolling 20s. We are the show that says if DC wants more realistic comics, then they should send Snowflame to Narcotics Anonymous. I am Jeremy.
Steve. Jesse.
And V.
Remember, you can subscribe to this show and several others in the MSP library at missionstarpodcast.com. You can subscribe to us on iTunes and on Stitcher, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at the Rolling 20s. You can send us any fan mail, suggestions for the show, or hate mail at mspfreight@yahoo.com. The music you heard for the show was by Machinae Supremacy. You can find most of their discography for free download at machinaesupremacy.com, as well as their latest couple of albums on amazon.com. The clip you heard at the beginning was Super Cafe, Super Social Network by How It Should Have Ended. You can find their channel on youtube.com. It has been too long since we've done one of these.
Agree.
I know I think V is the only one that had full relaxation over the last 2.5 weeks.
Probably true.
Yeah, I've had some kind of medical malady over the last week. It's been bugging the hell out of me. I don't quite know how else to describe it other than painful urination.
Ow.
Some kind of...
That's no good.
No, I went to a doctor and I just said, I thought it was stones, but this has gone on too long. I think I have an infection. He did a short test. You have no infection. So, wow, okay, now you're really scaring me. He said, we can expand the test for chlamydia and gonorrhea. No, that's not my problem, sir.
Have you been?
He said, well, you don't know where your partner's been. I know where she hasn't been for 6 months. That's not my problem, sir.
Have you been in a hot tub lately?
Yeah, he really, really pushed this whole, well, it could be. It's like, no, you don't understand. It couldn't be. So, it's a short bout of intense pain, and everything is just slowly getting better. He says I've been eating something that's been irritating my bowels, and unfortunately, half the things I eat to lose weight are on the list.
Ooh. Damn.
That's
including cranberries and cranberry juice, strawberries, bananas, and oranges. All things I've been eating like 5 days a week are now potentially what's causing this.
why would?
They're all things that could irritate the urethra if taken in large amounts.
Oh, I can see cranberries doing that.
Yeah. So I'm perplexed. Like I said, it's slowly getting better. So whatever it is, obviously I've stopped eating. But the problem is I've stopped eating all of it just as a test. So now I got to slowly ramp this back up and hope I don't take myself out of work again.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it
my
wasn't
problem
the
is-
mango then.
Oh, the mango was the vomiting and the allergic reaction that caused other issues. This is something else.
You're allergic to
Wow.
mango?
Yeah, odd thing to find out, right?
Right? I've never...
During a con, I found that out.
I'm just thinking, wow. The problems I've been dealing with in these past 2 weeks off seems like nothing compared to what you've gone through.
I'm not trying to say I've had a worse week than you. It's just, it's literally one of those things where this has kind of overridden my week, painfully so. I've gone to the bathroom so many times, I'm surprised my boss hasn't followed me in just going, are you on cocaine?
Cocaine.
Yeah, no, mine's a bit more pretentious, actually.
Why, what's your problem?
Well, in the 2 weeks we have been off, several things that come. I was like, I want to buy it. Anyways, I can't. I gotta go to Comic-Con.
Oh, first world problems, huh?
Yeah!
Yeah, believe me, my wife is starting to send me messages. Where are we staying? The Hotel Marriott Marquis Marina. Where is it? Right next to the convention center. Bayside or Cityside? I don't know. We won't know till we get there.
Is that the one with the twin buildings?
Yeah, the two buildings that are
Yeah.
kind of like semicircle. They're across from each other. This is going to be a trip. You should see the pool area. It's like something out of a bad Hawaii TV show.
Wait, what?
the hotel we're staying at for Comic-Con. It is slightly posh. It's right up against the marina.
Gotcha.
So it's going to be groovy. Because we have a lot to get to, we'll get right into it. We had an interview scheduled for today, Missy of the Suicide Girls. Unfortunately, their calendars didn't quite match up with the date I gave them somehow. So I'm hoping we'll catch up with them soon and stitch that into a future show. In the meantime, though, I actually got my hands on a copy of the newly released short film of Kung Fury that I've shared with the others. And we're going to check it out on this show because I think this is going to be fun.
This is going to be awesome. Or at least I hope so.
Debatable depending on your sense of humor, but we'll get into that. We only have one crowdfunder in our Kickstarter corner. I found a GoFundMe for BentCon. It's a Los Angeles gay comic book convention. It's technically for everybody, but they distinguish themselves by being primarily for the LGBTQ community. They are looking to raise $100,000. Their GoFundMe is currently 12 days old. It doesn't say what day it's going to end. They have 7 backers currently raised $305. They're trying to expand, is what they're doing.
Okay.
I went there once for a day, and it was interesting. Everybody around there was super friendly. I admit I have not seen that many penises on paper since the last time I was in a high school locker room. So, wasn't quite my dig, but again, everybody was super friendly. The only thing that was really weird was that I got hit on an awful lot until my wife started to hang out with me too. So, there's that.
Was that weird?
A little unusual. But I guess I have something that gay people are attracted to. A friend of mine actually visited not too long ago, probably about a year ago. He's from Georgia. He's somebody we met on Icons. It's one of the Allens.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And he invited us out to this Long Beach barbecue. Convention is not the right word. Just this barbecue thing. A bunch of restaurants showing off their recipes and everything, as well as independent barbecue places. And he wanted a photo with me and my kid. So my wife just said, I'll take it. It's like, okay. He stood next to me. I picked up my youngest child. And while my wife is setting up the shot, all of a sudden Alan grabs one half of my ass. And after the picture is taken, my wife walks up to me and says, what happened? Why? And she said, he wanted to know if you made a funny face. Why would you make a funny face? And then I told her what happened. And Alan walked over and he said, really? You didn't move at all? Dude, I've lived in Los Angeles 13 years. You think this hasn't happened once before?
Now, if it was San Francisco.
Well, if it was San Francisco, that'd be completely desensitized. It wouldn't even surprise me anymore. We'll move right into the video game news.
Actually, I found one that's kind of of interest on
okay.
Kickstarter.
What is it?
It's being done by Adam Nimoy.
Adam Nimoy.
That sounds like Son of Spock?
Yes. Well, the project is called For the Love of Spock, and he wants to do a kind of a documentary. It was originally planned by him and his father, more for the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. But anyway, yeah, he's trying to get that going. It's
what site is it on? Is it a GoFundMe?
No, it's Kickstarter.
Okay.
They're looking for $600,000. They currently have 2,197 backers, $184,144. The project ends July 1st. So.
Oh. Okay. Right before I have to start my 2 weeks of hell.
Yes. But anyway, I figured I'd just throw it out there because it could be pretty interesting.
That's very much of interest. After I got back from Fanime, I was, you know me, I have the TV playing to distract me and keep my thoughts focused while I'm working. And as I'm putting things away and going through photos, I have Star Trek Into Darkness playing in the background.
Oh, well, that was something else I didn't mention either. They already got, what's his name?
Pine?
No. The other one.
Zachary Quinto?
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna voice the
What?
No,
he's gonna narrate.
No, he's gonna narrate. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really weird watching the last couple sequences. You see Zachary Quinto calling up Leonard Nimoy on the screen, and I had that thought I had when I first saw him in the theater of, yay! Aww! It made me sad all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Getting into the video game news, man, League of Legends creates a lot of news over the week, but there was at least one item that stuck out among the rest during the last 2 weeks. A broadcaster for the European League of Legends series, Martin Deficio Linge, he was suspended from commentating.
What do you do?
He's being punished for not telling Riot he was negotiating for a job on one of the pro teams that he falls under his purview of commentary.
Ooh.
Yeah. He was approached for a position on a top League of Legends team called the Copenhagen Wolves. I'm sorry, it may not be top, but they're definitely pros, and they'd be on his circuit. So, yeah, he really should have taken a couple of weeks off if he was going to do that. Riot said in a statement, quote, although it's not unusual for Rioters to be approached with offers from LCS organizations, it's important that the organization and Rioter let us know as soon as an offer is made to raise the awareness around potential conflicts of interest. In this case, we believe Deficios showed poor judgment in navigating this conflict of interest, unquote.
Fair enough.
Yeah. An internal investigation by Riot found that Deficio had begun speaking with several active LCS players, contracted and free agents, about their futures and the possibility of working with them on the Copenhagen Wolves. So it sounds like he was getting ready to form a brand new team.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sucker screwed up, man. Now, there's some interest in the Warcraft movie right now. For those that don't know, it was announced around last Comic-Con officially. It had been rumored well before that there is a movie coming out based on Warcraft, the Blizzard game. During the period we were off, the first couple CG renders have come out for this game, and they look really realistic. I swore when I first saw the picture I was looking at a plastic mask. Take a look at this. It's really, really good stuff. I'm not even a Warcraft fan, and I'm curious about this.
Oh,
yeah,
damn.
I've seen these, yeah.
That's cool.
That does look like a rubber mask, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If this is an example of what they're pumping out, first, I hope their computers are high power, because they may break a few with this kind of detail.
Well, they've been
But-
really good with their cinematics, and they look pretty good, so...
Yeah. Blizzard's always been very well known for their cinematics.
Well, this particular character is Orgrim, and it was being designed by an award-winning Star Wars effects studio, Industrial Light and Magic.
Orgrim Doomhammer.
Yep. So that's an example of what will be on the screen. That makes me very curious.
Yeah.
Actually, are they actually going back to before the MMO?
I have no idea what that.
It seems to
nothing
be
has
the
come out
case,
that I know about
'cause,
the story.
Yeah, no, I was...
If they have
sorry, I was-
Orgrim Doomhammer, then that's...
Yeah, my apologies. I was addressing Steve with that comment, because he actually knows more about the lore than I do.
I've played Warcraft 3 like one time. So I'm lost.
Yeah.
There is an enterprising young man named Daniel Luchow. Have you heard of him?
No.
I think I have, but I can't remember in what regard to.
I have
Okay,
not.
he's a digital artist, and he's also a World of Warcraft fan.
Oh boy.
What he decided to do was take the area in World of Warcraft known as Elwyn Forest,
Okay.
and he recreated the whole thing in Unreal 4. The Unreal 4 engine.
Interesting.
Yeah, he released a 2-minute video to go with it, and I sent it to you guys so you could take a look. There you go. My only problem is I haven't seen
Dark Moon
enough.
Fair is apparently here.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Warcraft to draw a comparison, but he's drawn a pretty beautiful picture.
Isn't this the Human Zone newbie area?
Yeah, it's right outside of Stormwind Castle.
Ah, okay.
See, now if the game looked like this, I'd probably be more apt to play it.
Oh, if it's still around in a couple years, it may be.
Yeah, they've already gone through one graphical upgrade.
There's some loud sound coming through somebody.
Yes, sorry, I just fixed it.
Okay.
Do you still hear it?
I don't think so. No. It's gorgeous, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's
There's
no
a little more
Murlocs.
detail.
We're the Murlocs!
If it was a little more detailed, I'd say this would almost be something like, I don't want to say Terra, but something else.
Mm.
This is very pretty. I want to visit it.
I actually, jeez, it's been years since I've actually even played the game, but I recognize all these areas. No wolves either.
Yep.
But we can still kill pigs.
Heading towards Stormwind now.
Is that the road to Stormwind? I thought that was the road
Yeah.
to.
No, that should be the road to Stormwind.
No, I thought it was the road to the area with the lake.
No, you're both
Red
wrong.
Lake?
There was a scarecrow in that cornfield.
And there's a lot.
There's the
logging
respawn
camp.
area.
This is the road to.
Yeah,
should be
this
the
is the road. This is the road to Red Lake. Or no,
No,
no, this is
this
the
is
area.
Westfall.
This is
Hogger.
Hog. Yeah,
Yeah,
Hogger's
this is
area.
the road to Westfall.
Yep.
And here, you two listen to Steve and I nerding out on this shit.
Oh yeah, I've backed off and I'm just letting you guys fly with this stupidity.
It was well done, Convergent.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I did not make these assets. I like that distinction.
Well, I have a feeling the buildings are mainly what he's talking about.
Mm.
But yeah, definitely impressive.
Yeah, was an interesting sidebar there. I have another video for you guys of a new character that's being introduced in Tekken 7 with some upcoming DLC to the arcade games. Apparently, they will actually update the arcade games with new characters as things come out,
Okay.
in Japan, at least.
Hmm.
And this new character is called Kazumi, with a Z. She has a rather interesting partner and weapon. It functions as both, and you'll understand when you see it.
Something from Soul Eater?
Oh, no, even better. I sent it.
New challenger.
And she looks like a shrine maiden of some sort.
Another Mishima.
Yeah, that's the odd thing. This is Heihachi's wife.
Oh,
And Grandma can kick some ass.
Wait.
well, not to mention she's kicking Grandpa's ass.
You notice her partner there, though?
Yeah.
Wait, so how old is this person?
Definitely older than she looks.
She's got some gray hair.
That old guy she's fighting?
That's her husband.
Gotcha. Thank
I want to know where this
What's it
tiger
called, a tiger
is coming
Yuken?
from.
Is that an uppercut technically a tiger Yuken or what?
Shit.
Oh, she just punched him in the nuts.
Oh.
Alright, what style of martial arts is that she's doing?
Roughly I'd say Namco. I'm not sure if it makes me want to play more Tekken 7, but it definitely makes me more curious about their roster of characters. It looks like they put some imagination into it, at least.
Yeah.
I heard Jax is coming back.
Who?
Jax.
Yeah,
Jax
the
or
cyborg.
Jax?
Jax.
I
Jax
think it was
is Mortal
Jax
Kombat.
singular.
No,
Jax.
there was
Wasn't there a
No,
Jax?
No,
Jack.
Jack.
Jack is the robot. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've had lots of different armored Jack and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah, haha, nerd test! Have you guys heard about the Frag Dolls?
heard the term.
Okay, they're Ubisoft's official team of lady gamers. They've been hawking the wares for the publisher for a while, and they've been an interesting crew who... The idea was they were gamers who also... they also wore makeup and stuff. I don't want to say media-friendly. They were girly gamers. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. The team was retired as of last week. It just appears that the team had run its course. There wasn't anything really bad going on in there, but they just determined that the world of video games had moved on. A team of all lady gamers wasn't as unusual as it was when they started about 10 years ago.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So, their founder, Morgan Romney, said in a statement, quote, "We can count it as progress that girls playing games is no longer the source of surprise that it once was. We said many times over the years that we hoped to one day see the true gender equality across the gaming communities, rendering an all-girl gaming team unremarkable. I won't claim that we've reached gender equality by any means. We still have a long way to go. But there has been enough progress that we've reached the clear beginning of a new era. We've always believed that the video game is a powerful medium that anyone from anywhere could learn to love, and it's heartening to see that truth being recognized more broadly. We are proud to think that we might have played a small part in moving the needle on that dial, unquote.
Okay.
Ubisoft founded the Fragdolls in 2004, and there have been more than 20 members over 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah, not bad. Definitely the first of its kind. Definitely won't be the last. Okay, we are just video heavy this week. This is going to be a pain in my butt.
Oh boy.
There has been a new video release of the game upcoming on June 23rd, the one I've got a pre-order in for, Batman Arkham Knight.
Yep.
This one is called 7 Minutes of Grittiness. Sounds dirty when you say it like that. I sent it.
Rated M.
Mature, 17. Blood, language, and suggestive themes. All sounds like fun.
Where's Scarecrow?
It's totally an advertising scheme now.
Yeah. I remember that clip when he broke that guy's arm just asking for information. We ran across this at the end of another clip we watched about a month and a half ago, I think.
Break the other one.
Is that Kevin Conroy?
Got a safe house nearby.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy said that he did this one,
Okay.
which makes me happy. It also makes me geek a bit considering we saw the man in person.
Yeah.
And we heard Batman say fuck.
Yeah. I'll break you.
Do it, or I'll find you. And I'll really fuck you up. Oh, there's the Ace Chemical building. Why have they not closed that thing yet? Nothing happy happens there.
Too many bribes. Actually, I hope it's just YouTube's rendition of this because this seems like performing terribly.
It looks pretty good here.
Look who it is.
And there you are, just kicking ass again.
Uh-huh.
Wonder if
Did
that
he
was
just
a
stick him
batarang.
with one of those explosives?
I think he did.
Oh, I feel sorry for that guy. Yep.
Oh, just hit somebody else with it.
No, I think he's detonated it.
Is he like... Is there an electric spark on his feet?
He's a walking taser, so probably.
Yeah, the entire suit is electrified.
Smoke bomb.
Oh, nice.
I appreciate that they sped up the gameplay.
Yeah.
It makes it look interesting. However, he looks like a gymnast who just had a healthy dose of Heisenberg meth.
And just think, when Dick Grayson becomes available to play, he actually moves faster.
Yeah. Ow.
Oh.
That was his head, man.
Is
Look
that
who it
Zaz?
is. Nope. It's who he's guarding that's more important.
Ivy. And
Is that... Oh.
It's
Yay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Poison Ivy. Completing her Arkham Asylum getup, which means almost nothing.
Take a look at the
Yeah.
There's nothing to the imagination.
looks
but
like
then
she's
I
not-
really never did.
She's just wearing, like, sports bottoms and a half-open prison shirt.
I can't even see the bottom. Like, it looks like she's not wearing
Actually,
anything.
I don't think she's wearing the prison shirt.
But
anymore.
only one of us is getting out of this cell.
Oh no, gas. Yeah, the gun will help. Shoot the gas.
I think he was hallucinating
Nothing
at
like
that
a little
point.
natural immunity.
You can only hope.
Yeah, I wouldn't be immune to that gas.
She is. She's immune to all sorts of toxins. Okay, they're not sports bottoms anymore. It looks like she raided Fredericks of Hollywood before they closed.
I
That
suppose
Wait, they
that's where she got
closed?
that silk shirt from.
and Gotham.
Yeah, they closed.
Huh.
They went under.
I believe that was the idea.
I did
It's
not
much
know
more
that.
detailed.
I wasn't
Yeah, it's
interested
much
in
more
this.
detailed than Arkham Asylum was. That's for sure.
And when I came to
It's, interesting.
that room,
Well, I was talking about the game overall. It's like even the water texture is higher.
always wins.
I need a new graphics card.
Me too. I need a new computer.
I like how she threw Batman out of the elevator.
And he's gonna be there.
Yeah, unfortunately, he is Batman.
You're coming with me.
How do you think he got out of there? The bat hedge trimmers, the bat razor, or the bat lube?
Yes.
We need to leave.
The master of
Oh wow, there's new right at Paramount.
What, the back of the Batmobile? Yeah, I'd hate that.
I need to know where those.
No, the trunk of the Batmobile.
That's what I mean. I mean, what's the ride? Okay, you're riding bitch the entire time. Wonderful, great.
Diagnostics. It's time to go to war.
Now, this thing isn't exactly a bat tank anymore. What would you call this thing?
It's still an armored vehicle.
I'm heading there now.
The Bat ATV, I guess. It goes everywhere.
This is Commissioner Gordon. We have numerous hostile tanks deployed across the city.
And he just ran through a derelict car.
I want everyone off the streets and back to GCPD. We're not equipped to deal with what's out there.
I think I might call it like a Bat Former, because for Christ's sakes, it looks like it came right out of Fall of Cybertron.
And the wheels don't turn over.
No, but they do turn sideways to 90 degrees.
And closer in to get to that. It fires like
like-
it fires like it from War for Cybertron.
I do like the predictive lines for all the ballistic fire
Yeah.
he's trying to dodge there. It's a little too Matrix at some points, though. It's cool, though. I'm going to end up playing this thing a lot during Anime Expo and Comic-Con. I can sense this.
Wow.
Oh, wow, so he's a Veritech. Great.
Nah, that's not enough business for
And
that.
now he's doing donuts. Excellent.
Jim, tell your men they can resume
Yeah, he's not
Well-
enough missiles for Veritex.
Yeah. Nothing says I'm the Batman like breaking every damn traffic law you can find.
And every car in the way.
Dude, you just rammed...
Oh, that person is not having a good day.
What the hell do you tell your insurance?
Got
I'm
hit
pretty
by
sure
the
James
Batmobile.
Bond
I mean, come on,
insurance
you know Gotham doesn't even insure cars anymore.
Or if they do, it's like
You live in Gotham? Fuck you!
you gotta imagine those rates are gonna be sky high. Like only
And
Bruce Wayne can afford it.
And he buys car insurance for everyone.
with the fear toxin analysis.
You don't know it, but there's a gecko riding in the passenger seat.
I'll show you what I've got so far. Who taught you to drive?
Wow, so there's a whore in the trunk.
Where's Phantom when you need it?
Prisoner detent... Wait. You really expect me to believe that a bunch of cops who are barely holding on to the city can hold on to her right now? Anybody else see the flaw in this logic?
Oh. My flaw in the whole logic is the fact that he drops people off at Arkham Asylum all the time.
And then has to put them back in when they inevitably escape.
Yeah, Wayne
I almost-
playing with the lazy
Wait, this
state
didn't
of
work the
York,
first
prison holding
500
technology.
times. Why am I still
Yeah,
doing
I
this
know.
again?
Half the time when he asks people, how did you get out of Arkham, I almost expect somebody just said, they didn't give you a key too?
I mean, it's probably happened so many times. Like, he doesn't even bother to ask anymore.
Oh, why even have a guard at the front gate? I mean, they're either going to slip by him or get killed anyway. You might as well just leave the damn thing open.
Formalities.
Yeah. Does anybody have a spare $100,000?
I wish.
You remember
I'll
we
let
were
you know
talking
as
a
soon as I
little...
get my first 100.
You remember we were talking about that Star Wars Battle Pod game, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The one that is a large enveloping screen. It was based on the Gundam game that came out a while ago.
Uh-huh.
Turns out for $100,000, you can get a special edition version of that Battle Pod for your very own.
Oh.
Yeah, I sent you guys a copy of the image. It's kind of impressive. You can get them either stylized as the Rebellion or as Darth Vader.
I'm sorry, I'd have to go with Darth.
Yeah, I'd say, I'm more of a Rebellion person, but I gotta admit, that Darth Vader thing would look better sitting in a corner of whatever area I shoved everything else out of to put that in.
Yeah.
All praise disposable income.
Disposable, nothing. You gotta be able to light hundreds on fires and not worry about it if you're gonna buy something like that. It is impressive, though. But if you don't have $100,000 for just $37,000, you pick up the standard version. So for the price of a for the price of a BMW.
Sorry, I already paid off my car.
Well, yeah, like I said, because we've been off so long, it's a video-heavy week. I have another video for you of another debuting video game character. Although this one isn't from Tekken 7. This one is from Street Fighter V. The PlayStation 4 exclusive, as everybody knows it.
Yeah, exclusive.
Well, they've had reveals of Ryu and Chun-Li. They've had a reveal of a returning character, Charlie. Now they're having a reveal of one of the former villains coming back to strut his stuff. M. Bison is back in the game.
Which one?
The American one,
Oh, okay.
the captain one. Okay. I sent it. May contain content inappropriate for children. Are we appropriate for children?
No.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Sometimes we are children.
I'm scared that my daughter is 11 years old. She'd probably find this funny. Okay, nice with the epileptic video montage there.
You yours.
There's the mutant Charlie. I don't know what they stitched him
God,
with.
it's fucking Frankenstein. Shit.
Looks like they ripped apart Blanca and stapled him on there.
What's he, half dead?
I don't know the story. Nobody's released a story as to how he's back. We just know he's here.
Yeah, it almost looked like he was a cyborg because he had that weird jewel in his forehead.
Did you notice the projectile stopper there that
Yeah.
Bison has now?
Well, he's had
Just
it.
absorbed it. Oh, has he?
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of playing this particular character. His movements are too wild for me. The double stomp was interesting.
Oh, wow. That was a good one.
And here's the super.
Oh, that's cool.
Right into the bus. Someone tells me if something hit a bus that hard, the people inside it wouldn't be going, yeah, do it again!
It'll be like, bleh.
It's a cool video. It almost makes me wish I had a PS4, but not quite.
Yeah.
Close,
Oh,
but
this-
no cigar.
The skin
However,
textures for,
I am
for
quite
Street
happy
Fighter
that I
just always
own
bothered
a-
me.
I'm quite happy to know that I own an Xbox One and that I will be able to play the new Tomb Raider.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there are some changes to the upcoming Final Fantasy 15. The Square Enix has released a version 2.0 episode Dusuke. Oh no, an episode Dusuke demo that's coming out in June. This news came out via Siliconera. The improvements to the combat system and frame rate in FF15 are just the tip of the proverbial iceberg. They're adding joint attacks, a possible dodge roll, and a few other things. This is all based on fan feedback. Looks like the first hands-on for this game was at PAX East 2015. And early reports from IGN say that this game looks like it's going to be worth it. Be the first Final Fantasy in a while that's had that title.
Yeah. 10, really.
Yeah. And the last bit of video game news I have is another video.
Lay it on.
Oh, for a little bit of context here. How many of you have played the classic PC game Doom?
Yep.
Of course I've played it.
Yeah, V, I forgot about your bloodlust, V. I should have known about that. Well,
Hey,
there
taking
is a-
chainsaws to demons from hell is no, easy matter.
Funny you say that when you see this on. There is a young man named Jung Hae Lin. He's from South Korea. He is a soldier, and he decided that Doom apparently was missing a few classic tropes from anime, like katanas and sword-wielding girls.
Oh.
Believe it or not, that's not what you're up against. That's what he turned the main character into in this mod.
Doom Guy is no longer Doom Guy. He is some chick
Yeah.
wielding a katana. Excellent.
Yeah, Doom Guy has now become Sung Si-hong. Oh no, there's two characters in this. One is a South Korean soldier that's carrying a katana and apparently some kind of gun. The other one is Sung Si-hong, who is pretty adept at punching people to death. This is from the Demon Steel mod. And I sat down and watched this video. I don't know if I'd say I would play it, but I would be highly entertained having someone put this up on a projection TV and just watching somebody go stupid with it.
And watch a playthrough of it.
Oh, hell yeah. I sent it.
Agent
Demons.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah. It maybe doesn't have nukes, but fully charged Omen is close enough. Welcome to Hideki Kamiya's Doom. I am the greatest GeoCities anime OC now. Finally, a video game where you can play as a blender. I didn't understand that until I saw the mod. It does get pretty groovy, and this apparently won Best Gameplay 2014 Choice Awards for Doom. Now, this is Demon Steel version .74. Okay, already she sounds crazy.
I love the music.
Yeah, I think the music is part of the mod. Does the game
It's
always
soda.
run this quick?
Can of
Yeah.
Pepsi? Really?
Yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
quick game.
That's
Usually played
new,
it with,
though.
think, with a mouse. What?
Knocking enemies up into the air like that.
I imagine this added a few new game elements to it. That wide super slash she does is definitely new.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've played this. Well,
This
actually, not
looks
that long.
kind of fun. I've only ever seen Doom played over other people's shoulders, though.
I'm sure this mod involves a
Holy
PC controller.
crap!
Yeah. I think she just ran across the heads of all those demons.
Wow, how did she do that?
I have no clue. I don't remember the gameplay being this frantic.
No.
Oh, it was. It was.
It
this
was. Yeah.
Well, I played it during the era of mouse and keyboard. I have a feeling this is made to work with a controller.
Even still,
not
it's
necessarily.
frantic.
Yeah, I mean,
That-
it's very high pace. I made it less frantic because I, like, hid a lot.
Sabbath Death Machine Gun.
Yeah.
There go the Nazis.
Charon and Testament.
That would be the sword. And the pistol. Wow.
And the pistol is apparently an ice blaster.
Yep.
The music is so gratuitous 80s.
Yes, and I love it. Must have some kind of weird super jump ability.
Yeah. There's that super slice again.
Oh, I hated those things.
Oh,
Oh, her
yeah.
sword
Oh.
can actually cut their shit up.
Yeah, it blocks
Wow.
projectiles.
Oh, this is total classic Japanese bullshit.
This is definitely what the guy meant when he said,
what the
finally I get to play the blender. Just clean the sword, man. You always got to keep that sword clean. And then here's the other half of the mod, the other character. Sun Sui-Han. I think you can call this one Puncharella.
Okay, she.
Okay, this reminds me of the
The-
Chun-Li mod we saw back in the day.
Oh
Just-
I
god.
don't think it can do
Dragon
that.
Ball
Look at
Z
the
shit
blaster.
going on here.
Her version of the shotgun is pretty good, just holding up the hand.
Dude, as fast as she was knocking things down, like the boot has nothing on this.
Oh, just wait. We're coming towards the thing that made me laugh towards the end of this. All the explosions.
Oh god.
Yes.
If there was ever a drop mic moment for a mod, that was it.
Goku, eat your heart out.
Yeah, it was pretty nifty. That makes you want to play Doom.
Okay, I need to find that song.
I think he added some information at the end of the video so you could look it up. Alright, we will move into Marvel Media News. We talk about the Marvel projects that do not end up on the comic book pages. And one of the bigger projects they're working on right now is the Benedict Cumberbatch Doctor Strange movie. And
That one's got me
There's-
curious.
yeah, there's some news that came out during the last couple weeks. It's made people both interested but angry at the same time. It's been reported that Marvel Movies is actually eyeing Tilda Swinton to play a role in the film. Who do you think she would play?
Who's Tilda Swinton?
She played Gabriel in Constantine.
Oh, okay.
I think she was also the White Queen in the Narnia films.
Yeah, yeah.
She's been in a bunch of things.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now, I know that your knowledge of Doctor Strange's universe is going to be a little limited, but who do you think she would play in the movie?
Someone
Rival-
androgynous.
What'd you say, Michael? At least no one said Wong yet. I was afraid that was going to come out
I was
here.
worried, but then I was like, no, even they wouldn't be crazy enough to do that.
Now, what's really irritating people is that she's been picked to play Doctor Strange's Tibetan master, the Ancient One.
Really? Well, I guess.
Or at least that's what they're eyeing her to do. It is a male role. The Ancient One is supposed to be a 100-year-old Tibetan master that teaches a humbled Stephen Strange how to do magic. I don't know. In the history of casting, this is not the weirdest thing I've ever heard, so there may be something to this I'm missing.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
I
it doesn't even sound as...
Do
it doesn't-
Tibetan monks? I can't remember if they can actually even allow females to join.
No, but she's played a lot of androgynous roles before.
Right. But even still, it was not that difficult to tell that she was a woman.
I would hope not. There may be some people who are still a little unaware. But I'm willing to give it a shot. It's not even as weird as when I heard back in 1987 that Michael Keaton was going to be Batman, so...
That was weird.
I'm willing... back in the day, yeah, that was an announcement that pissed off everybody.
Huh.
I think everybody top to bottom said that this movie's not going to work, and then the movie came out and, they got to shove it down everybody's throat. But that wasn't the only casting rumor that came out this week. Word is for Season 2 of Daredevil, they are trying to cast Bullseye. And the lead actor they were talking to for this role was Jason Statham.
I think you can pull it off.
Yeah.
So did I, and that's why I was disheartened to find out 2 days ago that he, because the rumor came out, he pulled out of contention for the role.
Oh.
Because the rumor came out?
That's the word. I don't know if there's something extenuating behind that, but almost the day after the rumor surfaced was the day he stopped negotiating.
Why? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. The quirks of actors I could never figure out in my lifetime. And besides which, it's not like Statham doesn't do a lot of stuff already. He was in that weird spy movie with Melissa McCarthy this week.
Yeah.
So, I don't know why he'd be touchy about this particular one.
Nah, I don't either. Especially with as successful as, all of this stuff has been, it wouldn't be bad to have his name tied to it.
Let alone if he was going to be Bullseye. I mean, that's a role that keeps coming back in Daredevil. 2 actors in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. have been promoted to series regulars.
Oh?
Who?
First off, Henry Simmons, who plays Mac on the show, the mechanic.
Oh, cool.
The reticent, I want to say paranoid alien hater. He's now been promoted to a series regular instead of a part-timer.
Oh, good.
Cool.
The other one was honestly a bit more of a surprise. Luke Mitchell has been promoted to series regular.
Which one's that?
He played the Inhuman Lincoln.
Oh, the electric guy.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's going to be on the series much more consistently now.
As part of Coulson's team?
Well, obviously he's going to be Lincoln again, but they haven't said what role he's going to have in the upcoming season.
Probably Sky's love interest.
I could do without that.
She's gonna have one eventually.
Yeah, but don't...
She had one. She shot him.
That was more his idea than hers, though.
No, it was her idea to shoot him.
No, I mean the love interest part.
Okay, the other part, yeah. Okay. Also in the vein of Marvel TV, Haley Atwell, who played Peggy Carter in 2 movies and in a TV show for Marvel projects. She was at Houston Comic Palooza recently, and she did a Q&A panel. Somebody asked her if the next season of Agent Carter would be longer than season 1. And she said, quote, "I also think the showrunners really want to move it forward. So it's going to be set in LA, and it's 10 episodes.
Jeez.
It's going to be a very glamorous, dark world of 1940s Los Angeles," unquote. So I believe 10 episodes will be more than what they gave it in the first season. I think the first season was 8. Yeah. So it sounds like they had an unexpected hit on their hands. I don't think they really thought this would get this far.
Stuff happens.
People like period pieces. Look at the success of Mad Men.
It may also be the particular period. The 1940s, we're pretty much hitting the end of that generation, so that may speak more to particular people. And
That's
technically,
true.
it's also more of an unknown to lesser generations. They have no frame of reference for it these days. A few more set pictures have come out from the set of AKA Jessica Jones. More pictures of Kristen Ritter in the title role as she's God, by now they're probably working on the latter half of the season, I would imagine. I sent you guys the link so you could take a look. It seems pretty typical of what we've seen so far. And there's not a whole lot to say because it's not going to be very flashy. Unlike Daredevil, Jessica Jones didn't have much of a costume in her post-superheroic days. She stuck to t-shirts and jeans primarily.
And she looks like she's
Jeans, leather jacket.
Yeah. And kind of a dark hoodie, but for all I know, that could be her private detective work. I did notice in that last picture somebody holding up the timestamp there for the shooting. It looks like this project's been codenamed Violet to keep people from stopping by every now and again.
Mm.
not a secret anymore.
It's one of those things I found out in L.A. Occasionally I've seen these plastic yellow signs that have been hurriedly twist-tied to lampposts, and they have all kinds of strange phrases on them. They're usually code phrases for something else going on nearby. It's like I was driving through a neighborhood and I saw a bunch of yellow signs that said 12, and I'm like, 12? What the hell does that mean? Then as I'm driving by, I notice Kiefer Sutherland just kind of sitting on the curb smoking a cigarette surrounded by 3 people, and it's just like, 24 is here. Okay. Another Marvel character is about to make their media debut, although not in a way a lot of people, I guess, would expect. The character of Miss Marvel from comics is actually going to be guest starring in an upcoming episode of Avengers Assemble on Disney XD.
Really?
Yeah, the episode is going to be titled Ultron Revolution, and it's going to include a couple characters not in the regular rotation of Avengers, like Captain Marvel and the Black Panther. This is the younger character, the Muslim-American Kamala Khan from New Jersey.
Yeah. I've never been really big on that iteration. That iteration of the show, not the character.
Oh, okay. Well, I am a little curious, though, because the episode, again, is titled Ultron Revolution, and she's going to be a guest star along with Captain Marvel and Black Panther, 2 characters who are getting media debuts in the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Movie debuts, I should say. So that makes you wonder if there's something else going on with this particular character. Maybe they're positioning it to open up in some other project upcoming.
Mm-hmm.
From the set of Captain America Civil War, there was a day-long screen test for a couple actors, Asia Butterfield and Tom Holland.
Okay.
Day-long screen... well, they're the lead actors to play Spider-Man in Civil War.
Oh.
Both actors?
So, yeah, it looks like they dragged them both down there, and instead of just having them screen test, they basically... I'm guessing they threw them in a few scenes with the other actors to see how they gel and how they'd adapt to the set.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Word is that Marvel and Sony's favorites for directing the Spider-Man franchise is Jonathan Levine, who did Warm Bodies, Ted Melfi, who did St. Vincent. Other previously mentioned directors like Francis Daly and Jonathan M. Goldenstein from the Vacation reboot are still in contention. But one Dark Horse candidate has debuted, who did a feature film called Kafkar, and that's director John Watts. They're still talking to writers, though. I would say the writer right now is a little more important than the director, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I have another video for you.
Shoot.
Another 1-minute trailer has been released for the upcoming July 17th release of Ant-Man.
I think I may have seen this.
This is the 5th TV spot they've released. I was going to say that seems like a lot, but then again, we're only about 6 weeks away from the release of this particular film, so I guess it's not that unusual.
Really?
6
Only
weeks?
6 weeks? Wow.
July 17th?
Wow.
I thought it was sooner.
Oh, it's going to come out right after we get back from Comic-Con.
After or during?
After.
After.
Huh.
Comic-Con ends on the 11th. I sent it.
May change dates.
A soldier the size of an insect.
There's Yellow Jacket behind a magnifying glass. I don't know. I don't quite know what that says.
Oh, that guy.
Agile, fast.
Yeah, Paul Rudd.
I need you to be
What else?
They definitely showed off more athleticism for the character in this ad.
awesome.
The suit has power.
I think I might freak out when I shrink down and saw what's actually on all those floors and surfaces.
When you're small,
A little disgusting.
superhuman strength,
Probably a bit.
you like a
It's like skin flakes would be huge.
You tried to hide your suit from me. Now, it's gonna blow up in your face.
Pick on someone your own size.
They would make a size joke in this movie.
They kinda have to,
This
though.
movie's gonna be full of
There's
size
no reason
jokes.
to be scared.
Yeah, if the Flash can make a bunch of speed puns, I expect size jokes here.
How'd you do that, bro?
Look at your shoulder.
Everywhere July 17th.
This is gonna be
Okay.
great.
Hey, if it's going to stay funny, I'll check this out. I like the idea that there's a different type of movie finally in the Marvel movieverse.
Honestly, I think they chose a really good direction for this.
Yeah. Bryan Singer has been tweeting again. He's supposedly he's working on the set of X-Men: Age of Apocalypse, and he apparently sent out a tweet that has people very curious, and he's probably just revealed who one of the Horsemen of Apocalypse is going to be. V, I expect you to know nothing about this. Steve and Jesse, I expect to understand this picture that he tweeted. This is what came off his Twitter.
Caliban.
Yep. The second Horseman of Death, Caliban. Although, considering we saw pictures of Archangel, he's more than likely going to be War for this one.
Honestly, it works both ways.
Yeah. He couldn't be Famine.
That would be a little weird. Well, I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, because he does say or. So if he was Famine, I could definitely see his more weak-looking...
Yeah, but that was his pre-transformation version.
Right.
His powers were kind of weird in the comics, and I don't know if they'll translate those directly to the movies, considering the changes they've made already, but he had super strength, high invulnerability after his enhancements, and he had this aura field he would emit.
Yeah, like...
It caused people to just kind of crumple in fear as he walked by.
Did he have the ability to detect other mutants?
Well, that was his natural mutant ability.
Okay.
The rest of it is what Apocalypse gave him.
Yeah, that's what made him so scary, though, is the fact that you couldn't really hide from him.
Yep, if he was looking for you, he'd find you. Last bit of Marvel media news I have is contract news. Chris Pratt, by now everybody knows him as the man with the abs Star-Lord. Wow, she
There's
just
that noise
purred.
again.
Well, Chris Pratt spoke recently about working with director James Gunn on the set of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 and the difficulties he attributed to himself only. He said, quote, "It's a little bit like a Venus flytrap. If you stick your finger in and it closes, it takes like a week to open back up. So he had a hard time working with me because he'd tell me something or I'd do something, and the next thing you know, he couldn't get me back to where I started originally."
Okay.
In other words, he spent so long thinking about the direction Gunn gave him, Pratt just completely went in a different direction entirely. But Pratt also went on to discuss 2017's Guardians of the Galaxy 2, saying it was the first of at least 2 already planned sequels to the 2014 film.
Really?
Yep, so in other words, in his little conversation, he already let it slip that they're planning Guardians 3 already.
Well, of course they are.
Yeah, I don't know if that's confidence or if somebody's just screaming, "Money! Give me money!"
I think a little bit of column A and B.
Yeah, I was just about to say a little bit of both.
Well, the thing is, though, Newsarama brought up an interesting idea, is that nobody has officially announced Guardians 3, except somebody mentioned, could they be talking about Guardians 2 and some role in Avengers Infinity War?
That's a possibility.
Well, that could be interesting.
Well, I mean, if Thanos is coming by Infinity War, that'd pretty much be right in the Guardians' breadbasket there.
Yeah.
Oh, they have to go to the Nova. No,
they wouldn't. They just have to track Thanos. I mean, if Drax dragged him in one direction just so we could take another stab at the bastard.
Don't the Nova Corps actually have one of the Infinity Stones, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so do the Avengers. Thanos would have to go directly to the Avengers to get at least one of them.
Yeah. And Earth's probably closer than Nova Corps.
Well, it's not the fact that they're closer, it's just that one of them is in the Vision's forehead, one of them is, God. Yeah, one's in the Vision's forehead, one is in Asgard's treasure vault, one is in the Collector's collection.
I thought Collector had 2.
No, he only ever had 1.
Yeah,
no, he had 2.
Being 1. Wait, where?
He made mentions like 2 down, 4 to go at one scene.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't ownership. I think that was just the fact that 2 revealed.
Well, in any case, he had 2 for a short time as well. That just, lost one immediately.
Well, he had it for 30 seconds till his daughter grabbed it.
But see, that's the other thing too, is that Thanos doesn't have to go personally collect all of these.
No,
There's
but it does
still-
appear he's done with underlings and lackeys. They seem to let him down a little too often.
Well, there is still Nova.
What, you mean the Nova?
Yeah.
Are they
There hasn't been
working
one
on
that's
that?
revealed yet. They were working on it as a potential character in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but they scrapped all plans for it.
Or so they say.
Well, I don't think Thanos has to try hard to get the one from Asgard, seeing as how that's where he got the gauntlet from.
You probably picked them both up at the same time.
Yeah.
Loki probably was like, here you go.
Yep.
But no, I thought the what's her name? The other the assassin one. Her name was Nova, was it not?
No, Nebula.
Or Nebula.
Yeah.
You're right. Yep. Okay.
That's why I was trying to figure out where you were going with that.
Yeah. But yeah, there is Nebula as well, because I'm pretty sure she probably would have gone back to Thanos, even though she hates him.
Debatable. In the comics, she was a space pirate before he ever got to her, so maybe she went to that. We have DC media news as well, and there's a rumored villain that suggests that Superman may die in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Okay.
Yeah, a journalist named Humberto Gonzalez said on a podcast that the villain of Doomsday will be appearing in the movie.
I think they're trying too hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on what context you're using Doomsday in. It's not. I mean, he killed Superman once, but it's not like he did it again.
True. Well, and
the character's reappeared a few times.
the other thing is too is like, okay, so he dies in the movie. That doesn't mean he doesn't come back or whatever. I mean, God,
Well,
in that
come on.
Batman movie, he got his spine broken. He was fine by the end of it.
Yeah, and besides which, Superman is Space Jesus. He could just come back 2 days later. So, I mean, Doomsday would be an interesting ad, but I agree with Jesse's comment. It may be too much for a movie that's already supposed to have Batman and Superman fighting each other and punching in the face.
Although, I mean, have we actually heard who the actual villain is going to be?
I haven't heard that. Well, why would you hear? That's my thing. Is why would you hear that there's going to be a villain? You'd think the fact that you have Batman and Superman fighting would be enough to fill a 2-hour film.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. To me, that strikes me as just a very empty plot.
That strikes me as
Dark Knight
most of
Returns.
these comics I've read.
My whole theory has always been, okay, it's Batman versus Superman until something shows up that makes them join forces.
Yeah, that would make sense.
That was my assumption on the movie.
I don't know. I mean, we already know that Jesse Eisenberg has been cast as Lex Luthor. We know that
Yeah,
half
but
of the Justice
Luthor-
League is showing up, if not all of them.
Even with his power suit, I don't think he's powerful enough to say, okay, we have to ignore each other and go after him. But again,
See,
that's
that's-
just my interpretation of the movie.
That's one of the rumors that's come out that I have not reported just because it was unsubstantiated, was that Lex Luthor's warsuit may be in this film.
Yeah.
Which also, it feels like there's already so much. I don't know why you need Doomsday.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Unless
it's-
he was that catalyzing force.
Nah. Well, I actually have another image that came off the rumor mill regarding Batman v Superman. Here is supposedly the design of the new Batwing for the film. It's a very different take than I've ever seen before in a Batman movie, for sure. Doesn't exactly scream Batman like the previous ones have. No weird gigantic fins or anything.
Hold on.
It's an interesting design. It's not exactly a compact design. I don't quite understand the split wing thing.
Huh.
More like a manta.
Kind of, yeah. Maybe this is Aquaman's ship.
Or no, Black Manta ship.
Yeah. It's not bad. If you scroll down, there's a couple of GIFs supposedly of what it's going to look like.
It seems very impractical.
It seems very stealthed. That design really kind of makes me think of a stealth.
It's not a long
No.
profile, but it is a very wide one.
Well,
Yeah,
you look
seem
at the
flat
like the
profile.
B-wing bomber. It's very flat, but it was very wide.
Yeah, but it didn't have those vertical fins.
Well, no, because that would cause a lot more air disruption. I'm just saying it reminds me more of a stealth type ship with that design. it does kind of have that V shape.
Well, Kevin Smith has said for a while that he would like to direct a comic book movie, but he doesn't think anybody is dumb enough to let him do it. He says that for a combination of doing things like Jersey Girl and a few other movies that have not done well. But he also has said that he doesn't think anybody would let him because there would be too many dick jokes in there.
He's probably right.
But there is actually one DC property he would like to get his hands on and make a movie out of. He would like to make a very noirish version of The Question.
Oh.
Yeah, for people who don't know, The Question is a character in DC Comics. Originally, it was Vic Sage. He's a conspiracy theorist who uses a special mask to make it look like he has no face whatsoever. He would go around investigating things. He was kind of an information specialist in DC Comics before the character was killed. And that character is a noir movie. That would actually work pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, he was a very strange character who was obsessed with conspiracies and bubblegum pop.
It's an interesting mix.
Yeah. You know, and I guess The Question would probably be a good movie that if you want to get a famous director like Kevin Smith to work on would be good, because technically with that mask, he has no mouth, so you can't shove a dick in it.
Okay.
It would help. It would at least prevent him from doing that. In further DC media news, there have been a lot of pictures that came out over the last 2 weeks of working on the set on the Suicide Squad film. And a few of them has actually confirmed a rumor we've heard about just before we went on our little, I don't want to say hiatus, just worked on different projects. And this one has to do with the fact that there was a guy dressed up as Batman on the set. If you take a look here, they have a couple scenes of somebody dressed up as Batman strapped up to the back of the Joker's car, which appears to have the Joker and Harley Quinn driving it. I imagine they're going to CG in a cape.
Yeah.
Because those red dots kind of remind me of the Thomas Wayne Batman from Earth 2.
Yeah, there have been all kinds of weird images that have come out this week. Let me share the second group of photos that appear to be a confrontation between a plainclothes Harley Quinn and the Joker, as well as another picture of the Joker emerging from that gigantic Hot Wheel he's driving. I don't know how else to describe it, but that is, out of all the ways I've seen the Joker and all the ways I've thought of the Joker, I would not see him driving that particular type of car.
Yeah, I see him more in, like, you know, an ice cream truck.
Right, and he was the kind of character I would picture that if he wanted a sports car, he would probably just steal a sports car and then paint it with, like, purple house paint. I don't think he'd bother with the Justin Bieber chrome trim.
Yeah, obviously someone doesn't get what the Joker is.
Well, I don't know. It could be their take is interesting. I thought that Heath Ledger didn't understand it when I saw his photos, and his turned out to be incredible. I don't know. All the things I've seen of what this particular version of the Joker is just don't strike me as tropes of the character.
Yeah, it's very flashy.
I think they might be rolling it back.
Well, I don't know. It just depends. I mean, it could be all this flash is just meant to distract you from, you know, how they intend on playing this guy. I don't know.
I don't know. He looks like he owns a Greek disco. There's also news that they may be moving forward on the Wonder Woman movie project. There's a report that came out over the last week that another star is going to be cast as Steve Trevor, Wonder Woman's love interest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
V?
Yeah? What about it?
Supposedly they're talking to Chris Pine.
There's that sound again.
You know, he was the actor who played James T. Kirk in the last two Star Trek movies, and he's got some panache to him. He actually does some pretty good acting work. Previously, Scott Eastwood was rumored for the role, but Variety reports that they offered the second-generation actor a chance to audition for Steve Trevor. Or take a guaranteed supporting part in the Suicide Squad, and Scott Eastwood chose the latter. He chose the easy way out. That's kind of odd. So I guess that's how they started talking to Chris Pine. Wow, Pine wasn't even the first choice? I didn't expect that.
Well, he's not that big yet.
I think he's large enough. When you play Kirk in two successful movies, you've done something.
That's true.
Didn't the Sheldon crew kind of bomb, though?
What?
Shadow
not really.
Recruit? Really?
It did okay. It's just, it was one of those things that it wasn't well advertised. I don't think a lot of people understood that that was part of a series of films. Unfortunately, though, Suicide Squad also ruined something. Because of the expanded use of Harley Quinn in the film, that's why DC suddenly told Arrow they had to stop with the teases of the character in the TV show.
Yeah. That was disappointing. I heard that they actually had a full-on story arc. There we go. Words.
Well, there were a couple of glimpses of the character. The voice actress who played her in was it the Batman animated TV show did a couple voiceovers. There was a character seen with disheveled pigtails and an Argus shirt from the back in a scene. So it seemed like that they were going to move forward with something eventually. But Willa Holland, who plays Thea Queen on the show, says that the Arrow showrunners had big plans for Harley before Warner Brothers stepped in. Quote, "We had big plans for Harley, but I guess something came down from DC execs that told us to shut it down," unquote.
That's unfortunate.
I would like to have seen it. It might have been more interesting to watch.
I would say that Harley Quinn would have fit very well with the tone of that show. You know, the show of Arrow hasn't really appealed to me, but it's one of those cases where they've done a low-tech superhero show. There isn't a whole lot of flash, a whole lot of pomp, and a character like Quinn, who has had a multitude of looks over the years, could have fit in very well on that show, especially since she's relatively low-tech herself. But Steve Amell says that Arrow is done.
What?
Calm down.
I read this article.
He told E! Online, quote, "No more Arrow suit. I've worn it for the last time," unquote.
Oh, okay.
eBay it.
eBay it.
Seriously.
Supposedly they're going to go with a different tone, and the upcoming season of Arrow may be the first time that the character is referred to as the Green Arrow.
Oh.
With a new costume to go with the new name.
Okay, yeah, that's particularly different.
Because Amell also said that they'll use a perhaps even a new, longer name in the wake of the Season 3 finale. Meanwhile, Arrow showrunner Mark Guggenheim, he told IO9 about the 4th season, and he said it will, quote, "take a lighter tone." That's pretty much the only thing I can say without spoiling it, unquote.
You know, as long as you don't go with a feathered cap, I'll be okay with it.
I don't know. If they go to a much lighter tone, though, it's just kind of
We'll see.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer with less boobs. He said, quote, "The show's still going to be the show, but in terms of tone, we're coming off a very, very hard season for all of our characters. We wanted to try and mix it up a bit," unquote.
Yeah,
Sure, use
last
it.
season was pretty brutal.
Didn't watch. Well, I watched a couple episodes because I needed some filler, and I didn't go back. And in regards to the Supergirl TV show, the one that's coming out in 6 months, the first
Really?
episode has already been leaked online.
Oh. How bad is it?
Well, there's a standard definition and high definition version out there, so it looks like the leak came from a copy that was intended for critics somehow.
Oops.
And the show is supposed to exist after the current slate of DC superhero properties. In other words, Supergirl is supposed to exist after, I guess, Arrow and Flash and all these other characters have been heroes and stopped doing stuff.
So wait, we're talking like mid-21st century stuff?
I don't know. But, according to IO9, quote, "If you were put off by the show's 6-minute preview from last week, I can assure you the show is significantly better than that. It still has some of the same issues, but it's far more charming than problematic," unquote. I might run
We'll
a
watch
search.
it.
I'm curious. Yeah, I won't guarantee I like it. Last bit of DC media news I have. Square Enix makes some of the most freaked up action figures we've seen recently.
Which one did they do this time?
Well, we've seen their versions of several characters. We've seen their Batman, we've seen their Batgirl, we've seen their Bat-Ava armor. This one has to do with an upcoming video game. Square Enix has now made their version of the Arkham Knight. And this one, probably because of the subdued character costume, this one is much easier on the eyes than the others. It's much less jagged metal. It's pretty cool, actually.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I like that.
You know, it comes complete with a set of hands, looks like a couple pistols, an assault rifle, and 2 different helmets for some reason.
Looks like
Wonder
one's
if one
with
has-
the open, with the battle mask on, I think.
Yeah, one's a visored and one's a battle mask.
Oh, I guess that's a better look at what the Arkham Knight... Well, I guess I can't say that's a better look at what the Arkham Knight's going to be like, because Square Enix makes some of the most freaked up versions of characters I've ever seen.
Sometimes
Not
they
to say
look
that-
good.
Oh, they often look good, but still, it's just
You know
not
what
anything
this
I ever
character
put in
actually
context.
reminds me of, though?
Who?
Bunny from Tiger and Bunny.
Oh, I thought you were... I was afraid you were going to say Snake Plissken or something.
Oh, no. It just the helmet, I think, is what really kind of makes it.
I just know something weird about the guns in this thing. It looks like the two handguns could combine together to form that assault rifle, or part of it with an additional piece.
I don't know. That'd be very Japanese. Combine and form into...
Or
If you
Transformer
actually look at
S.
the bottom bit, if you look at the bottom bits of that assault rifle, they look like the bottom bits of both handguns.
I don't know. I didn't take that close of a look, honestly.
Don't have
I was
to.
just kind of blown away by the first looks. I do have some general media news, and the first bit is Doctor Who related.
Oh.
Stephen Moffat is still feeling guilty over something he did on the show.
And what was that?
Well, first of all, for those who don't know, the Stephen Moffat is the showrunner. He's run the last, 4 seasons of the show? Probably more, actually.
Yeah, I think it's more than that.
But he's definitely overseen I guess you could say, the height of the popularity of the show. The show isn't just sci-fi or geek fodder anymore. It's pretty much pop culture these days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he talked to Doctor Who magazine, the official fan magazine of Doctor Who, and he said that the Day of the Doctor changed the outcome of the Time War, so the Doctor no longer wiped out the Time Lords and the Daleks.
Right.
Quote, "The Day of the Doctor was a success. Record ratings, awards, rave reviews. By any measure, it did all right. But 2 years later, I'm still haunted by the guilt. I know some of you, including friends of mine, were upset that we reversed the outcome of the Time War. My defense, however feeble, is that given the chance, the Doctor would do exactly that. And it was his birthday. How could I deny him that chance? What could define him more? This man who always finds another way. And there he is at every moment of his life, proving to himself, literally, that there's always a better path. Ah, well, my heart was in the right place at least. But in this job, you always need to," unquote. I gotta admit, I was almost sorry that the Time War outcome was undone. I always thought that his final actions was a heavy bit of pathos that just added to the character.
Yeah. But now he still has the memory of doing that stuff at least, so...
Yeah.
He knows he can go there.
Yeah. Now, I just got word this week of a remake coming that made me smile and nearly made me cry at the same time.
Oh?
Okay.
Yeah, they're working on a remake of I think it's John Carpenter classic, Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh God!
Oh, I heard
yes,
about
I
that.
heard about this.
Yeah, and instead of Kurt Russell in any known role in the movie, they've picked to be, I guess, Jack Burton in the film, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yes, I heard they were, and sadly enough, I
feelings
heard
about
about
it.
this. I heard about this from the Facebook page that I belong to for the Robotech RPG Tactics, because they were talking about the Robotech movie that's coming out, and everybody was, saying, "Oh yeah, Dwayne's going to play Rick Hunter" or shit like that. So,
Now, do you know why the two are connected, though?
Why?
Because the Big Trouble in Little China remake director and the Robotech movie director are the same
person.
man.
Yeah, the guy that did Fast and Furious.
I think he did 7.
Yeah, Fast and Furious 7.
I think he did Furious 7. I'm on the fence about that because I like Dwayne Johnson. I like Big Trouble in Little China. I do think that, well written, a remake could be made. I just don't know if I want one. That movie stands on its own to me as just one of those... I don't even want to say guilty pleasures. If I want to watch some stupid kung fu, I sit down and watch that movie.
You think James Hong will reprise his role?
Oh, I don't think he touches with a 10-foot pole. I think you look at it and say... I think he'd look at Dwayne Johnson and say, "Okay, I'm Hold and he's big. I'm leaving." Neil Gaiman, though, I found out this week, is on the defensive.
About what?
Oh, believe it or not, it's about his project Lucifer.
Oh, I heard of Million Angry Mothers. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
No, not A Million Angry Mothers.
Christians?
No, the group is called The Million Mothers. 1 Million Moms, actually. They are a fundamentalist Christian group, and they've demanded a boycott of the upcoming Fox TV show of Lucifer.
Yeah,
That
whatever.
ain't gonna happen.
No, it probably will.
That's advertisement
but-
right there.
But it's not going to affect it.
The word of the potential boycott got back to the creator of the comic book the series is based on, and Neil Gaiman had this to say, quote, it seems like only yesterday, but it was 1991, that the Concerned Mothers of America announced that they were boycotting Sandman because it contained lesbian, gay, bi, and trans characters. It was Wanda that upset them the most, the idea of a trans woman in a comic book. They told us they were organizing a boycott of Sandman, which they would only stop if we wrote to the American Family Association and promised to reform. I wonder if they noticed it didn't work last time either.
Yeah, I read that too.
So, looks like he doesn't care.
No.
I'd say it's,
rightfully so.
I'd almost say it's funnier that a show about Lucifer is on the Fox network.
He cares enough to give them a good burn.
Let's see. More action figure news. And this one is not Square Enix. This one is the stealer of Souls Hot Toys.
Okay.
Yeah, you know that this is going to cost about $250 after licensing, and because of the accessories, and because of the detail. Take a look at their version of Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill?
Mark Hamill.
Wow.
Mark
I
Hamill
love that
as
caption.
1977 Luke Skywalker.
I like that caption.
Oh man, that's actually really, really good.
You see the close-up there?
That is just ridiculous.
That's freaky. They even get like some of his skin imperfections.
Yeah, this is the prototype, so I don't know if the production version looks like this, but I mean, it is scary accurate.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where if you don't...
Including the Tatooine clothes, the blast helmet, that's just freaking ridiculous.
What gets me, though, is it's one of those cases where if you just kind of flip past the close-up, even the hair looks like it's feathered, like it could move there.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell
I had
that it
to s-
isn't, but at the same time, looking...
You have to slow down and look.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's an LED thing in the lightsaber.
God, I hope not.
Don't need a nightlight.
yeah. No, I just don't... Hot Toys has no more reasons to take my money. Speaking of Star Wars, word has come out who Andy Serkis is going to be playing in the upcoming film. He's been doing some motion caption work for the movie.
Uh-huh.
And Serkis' character is supposedly named Supreme Leader Snoke. S-N-O-K-E.
Interesting.
There's no other information because all I see is a picture of Serkis in his mocap suit. There's no images as to what this character is going to look like. With a name like Snoke, I almost expect him to have a bong stuck in his face somewhere. But that sounds like a very Star Wars name. Supreme Commander Snoke. General media seems to be going back and forth this week to things that make us really interested and things that are just pissing us off.
And we haven't hit what the fuck yet.
Well, this one has to do with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Okay.
There has been some concept art released of what their version of Bebop and Rocksteady are going to look like.
Oh, I think I've seen this.
I think I have seen this as well.
This is some of the... it's one of those cases where for a cartoon, this was a pretty good concept. For most other cases, at least live-action cases, I wouldn't use these characters myself.
Yeah. I would have gone the other way. I would have made Rocksteady bigger than Bebop.
I think he's just
I don't know.
closer in the picture.
I think it would help.
Could be,
I would
but
think it. I think
just
it would
looks
help
like
if they,
Bebop is taller.
I think it would help if they straightened out Rocksteady's neck.
Yeah.
I like the picture.
Well, the other thing that got me was that they already announced who one of these characters is going to be played by.
Who?
Yeah, playing the rhinoceros, Rocksteady, is the World Wrestling Entertainment wrestler Sheamus, the Irishman.
I have no idea
Seamus
who
the
that is.
Ironman? Neither do I.
Sheamus is a red-headed, Irish-born wrestler. He has a rather noticeable accent. I don't know if he can suppress that well enough, like some people can. But he is not what I would expect to play this particular role. I actually have an image I can send to you guys so you can take a look, but I mean, there have been pictures already released of him on the set in human form, so I guess it's pre-transformation. And no, he's not dressed like this for the movie.
Oh wow, that's red.
Yeah, that's his hair. There's been jokes among fans and the commentators that he looks like a glass of milk with ketchup spilled on it.
Well,
So,
it looks like they're going with like the 1980s version of these characters. So
is that a good thing though? We left a lot of things behind in the 80s.
I know. I actually like the new iteration that they have in the current Turtles show.
Yeah. Okay, well, we have more action figure shit. This, like I said, a lot of stuff happened in the last 2 weeks. Must be that summer thing.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, we're back to Square Enix.
Okay, which one this time?
Well, nothing I pictured because it's another Star Wars figure. This is their version of Darth Maul.
Okay.
And I expect to find this at Comic-Con. This figure is going for 13,000 yen, so roughly $140, $150.
Damn.
That's not bad, actually. That looks
Lot of
badass.
A lot of detail on that robe, the way it moves.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a wire in it. No.
No, it's not wire, it's just straight plastic. You can see the stand-up version with all the accessories there.
Yep.
My question, are those clips attached to his vest?
Probably grenades.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
To
can
me,
see
they
that.
just look like they're meant to go in the handle of a gun of some sort.
Are those robotic legs?
No, I think those are normal legs. Just stylized in the Square Enix way.
With the armor. Yeah.
Yeah. Although the picture of him with all the accessories is kind of creepy because it looks like he's staring down at his own disembodied head.
Deadpool moment right there.
You know, it's one of those cases of, I remember that day. And Fox actually came out with some comic book news that makes me happy personally.
Oh?
Yeah, the Fox Movie Studios is reportedly all set to take another shot at making a movie of The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Variety reports that John Davis, who is producing The Blacklist, will work on making another movie with his production company, Davis Entertainment.
I have to say, The Blacklist is very good.
Yeah, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, for those who don't know, was an independent series. I don't remember which company put it out, but it was more or less famous literary characters who were brought together at the turn of the 20th century to solve crimes in a sort of Mission Impossible sort of way.
Kind of like Weird Avengers
Hmm.
type thing.
But
You haven't
some
actually
of their,
seen the movie, V?
Which movie?
League of
The League of
Extraordinary,
Extraordinary
Gentlemen.
Yeah, I have, but it's been a while. I don't remember the plot per se.
Hmm.
Also, the plot wasn't like great.
It's a take over the world plot.
I remember not really liking. I mean, I liked parts of the movie, but
I enjoyed it, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, I realized when I was sitting in the theaters and listening to a bunch of whispers, I was hearing a bunch of people going, "Now who's that again?" It's like, oh fuck, nobody's read a book.
I recognized all the characters, and I liked.
Yeah, I
The
recognize all
only
the
one I
characters.
didn't. The only one I was not actually familiar with was Dorian Gray and the vampire chick. But
Yeah,
those
those
were
two I
both
didn't
kind of self-explanatory.
I didn't know the
I
vampire.
totally
chick, but
missed the fact that Tom Sawyer was actually the young kid the first time I watched through.
Yeah.
I did. I
The
did hear
vampire
in
woman is
interviews
a bride
with
of Dracula.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I haven't read any of those books. Even I knew who these guys were, thanks
Yeah.
to I think Hanna-Barbera actually.
Okay, well, last bit of general media news is something that almost made me smile. Almost. The director of El Mariachi and the Sin City movies, Robert Rodriguez,
Ooh.
he's announced that he's been signed to work on a live-action adaptation of Johnny Quest.
Wow.
I do not know how to feel about
I
that.
don't either. I mean, I actually did like the remake of it, the newer show.
You mean the Venture Brothers?
No,
No,
actual
Full
Johnny
CG
Quest CG animation cartoon that they came out with.
Oh,
I thought that was pretty good.
yeah, I don't know.
how
I
a live action one would go though.
I would imagine for a live action, there's going to be plenty of added characters and changes because the original TV show, very much a sausage fest.
Yeah, well, that was one of the things they did in the newer one is they brought in the daughter.
Brace Bannon.
Jade?
No,
Was it Jade?
no.
Jesse.
Jessie. Yeah, Ace's
Oh, okay.
Ace's daughter.
Oh, okay. Race, wasn't it?
Race.
Bannon?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Race.
Yeah. Yeah, a guy named Race with snow white hair. That didn't have double entendre meaning. Okay, we also have Marvel comic news. We actually have news regarding the comic books that all these properties are based off of. And the first one is a little bit about Marvel post-Secret Wars. The Secret Wars is their big event that's going on right now. It should be ending at the end of the summer. And supposedly, the new Marvel Universe, or at least the comic books of the new Marvel Universe, will begin about 8 months after the end of Secret Wars. So we're not going to have an immediate fallout. We're just going to find out what happens after, I guess, they just finally finished putting the pieces together after they've restored the Earth. I don't know how to... Okay, personally, I don't like that. I like seeing the step-by-step of how people recover from major traumatic events like this in comic books.
I agree.
So that's not something I'm a big fan of. Unfortunately, though, it is also one of those cases where with large events you do lose large chunks of time, so sometimes it's a little trying to catch up. As you wait month by month for the story, time marches forward.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of why how Cyclops was 16 in 1960, and I think he's like 32 in 2015. But there are images that have already come out about what they call the all-new, all-different Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm.
There is a promo image that came out that showcases some of the characters that are going to be making their return in the post-Secret Wars universe. I sent it to you so you could take a look. It involves a lot of characters we're very familiar with already. Although, some of them are newer versions of these characters. Some of the biggest takeaways from this picture early on are the fact that there's 3 Spider people in it. 2 people from different dimensions are joining the main Marvel Universe, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
In the form of Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man, and Spider-Gwen. And I'm going to assume that if she's joining the main Marvel Universe, she will not be called by the characters Spider-Gwen.
No. Maybe White Spider? I don't know.
White Spider.
Ghost
Race
Spider.
Bannon. Yeah. The Race Spider. Great. We do see Jessica Drew in her
Zombie
new
Spider.
Spider-Woman outfit. The Zombie Spider, yeah, right. I see Black Panther. I see the 2 versions of Captain America, the aging Steve Rogers and the current one, Sam Wilson. You even see Agent Coulson there on the far left.
Yep.
See Miss Marvel, the Jane Foster Thor, Ant-Man, and the character I had to look up, I was not familiar with, one called Red Wolf.
Which one's that?
The guy with
That
the bow and
is
arrow.
that's the Native American on the far right. I don't know what he does or where he's from, but he's an already existing Marvel character. So this picture got a lot of people curious across the internets. But Marvel is not one to stop at one teaser, and they released a second image to coincide with this. It shows a lot of the newer things in this all-new, all-different Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at this one. A lot of different stuff in there.
Okay.
Okay, Medusa, Daredevil, or
Daredevil in all black.
yeah, the devil
Kitty
actual
Pryde.
one.
Kitty Pryde dressed up as Wolverine.
Strange?
No, that's not the Shadowland Daredevil. He's apparently trying out a new costume. This is the first time he's going to be in like his own black costume. And
Strange.
yeah, he's Doctor Strange with a battle axe for some reason.
That's not to mention Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
Sentry. No.
No,
No,
that's the
Hyperion.
Hyperion from the Avengers. There's Dr. Spectrum from an alternate universe who was one of Hyperion's team in every universe. She's the Green Lantern ripoff.
That's
She controls the light spectrum.
Okay.
Is that
And
Star-Lord?
Yeah, that's Star-Lord back there.
Yep.
And
Okay.
then
But
even Sunspot? Is that Sunspot?
no, that's a newer Inhuman called Inferno.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The one in front of him in the green hood, that's an older Inhuman who's recently been reincarnated. That's Karnak,
Oh, wow.
the guy who can find any flaw in
Right,
anything.
right.
Oh yeah, he died.
Yeah,
Yeah, he had that.
He threw himself out of a window at the very beginning of the Inhumans.
Right. And he doesn't have that funky helmet anymore, which is only a good thing.
Yeah, and then you see Citizen 5, who was the character that led the first version of the Thunderbolts, but that was Baron Zemo in disguise. So we don't know if this is Zemo or the actual Citizen 5.
Mm. And
there's-
also X-23.
Nope.
No,
That's Kitty Pryde.
no,
No.
that is not. That is Laura Kinney, but that is not Kitty Pryde. That is not X-23. That is now Wolverine.
Oh, okay, the new Wolverine, because...
Yeah.
Well, what about Grandpa back there?
That is not the Wolverine from the same universe. The one
Ultimate.
from the original Marvel Universe is still dead.
Right.
That's not the Ultimate version. The Ultimate one died first. That is from the special miniseries that came out about 4 years ago called Old Man Logan. That is an alternate future Wolverine who lived to the point where America became an irradiated wasteland split among three villains and a crazed Hulk. So that is an altogether different Wolverine. The one from the main universe is still dead.
Right.
They're actually pushing... Man, he might actually find Jean Grey. He's been dead so long. But the biggest surprise among all these wasn't the new Wolverine. It wasn't the Stephen Strange with a battle axe. The biggest surprise, believe it or not, is the Orange Rock thing there. Take a good look at him.
Yeah. What? That symbol on his chest.
It looks like he's younger.
He's not younger. The symbol on his chest is the same one that's on the chest of Rocket Raccoon, if you noticed.
Oh.
The implication here is that the Thing is going to be a Guardian of the Galaxy.
Huh.
Hey.
That's interesting.
That's certainly a lot better than being part of the Fantastic Four, I think.
Well, the Fantastic Four comic, if you recall, has been canceled by Marvel, citing low sales. If you buy conspiracy theorists, they're the ones who say it's because Marvel doesn't want to try to monetize things they don't have control of the movie rights over.
Yeah, I heard of that.
You know, myself, I've read the Fantastic Four. It's easily one of the most boring things that Marvel's done in the last couple decades, in my opinion, anyway. But, you know, just because you don't like the Fantastic Four series doesn't mean the characters don't have uses outside that series, though.
Right.
Yeah.
And besides which, the Orange Rock guy in space, that might be the place where he's the most normal, frankly.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of interesting implications on this second image, I'd say.
What's the rumor? Is there like a rumor going on who's actually inside the Iron Man suit?
There's a lot of theories. All we know for sure is that it's not Tony Stark. In a special preview from Free Comic Book Day back on May 1st of the all-new, all-different Avengers, this Iron Man specifically said that they have to be more careful because they can't afford to fix things. They're no longer being backed by Stark money. Whoever this Iron Man is, he spoke about Tony Stark in the third person. So either Tony Stark is back to pretending he's not Iron Man, or that's somebody else completely different in that armor. The current internet theory, considering that it's been said by Marvel that whoever this is a founding Avenger in that costume, is that it might be a former longtime Avenger sidekick, Rick Jones.
Really?
Yeah, Rick Jones, believe it or not, had a trust fund that he set up that is now, or last time we checked, was in the 7 or possibly 8-figure range. He was a smart investor. He took his Avengers pay and actually used the stock market.
Nice.
He used it for a while to fund a rehab clinic for young people who decided they didn't want to be superheroes anymore.
Huh.
That series, I don't remember the name of the particular group he put together, but I remember they showed up in the Runaways a couple times. I think they were called Excelsior or something like that. You know what? I would have read a series based around these guys because it was 6 characters who were trying really hard not to be superheroes anymore. It was like Lightspeed from Power Pack, Turbo from the New Warriors, Darkhawk, the second Green Goblin.
Wow.
Yeah, the second Green Goblin, Phil Urich, God, whatever was left of Penance from Generation X.
Yeah.
There were some interesting teenage characters from Marvel that could have built a series around. But, that's my opinion. Last bit of Marvel comic news was kind of a surprise. It's another item that's going to happen after Secret Wars. Dum Dum Dugan is going to be alive again.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah, the original Nick Fury's longtime friend and compatriot from World War II and his days in the Howling Commandos. Last time we heard from Dum Dum Dugan, he had just found out that the last few versions of him in the current Marvel Universe were all life model decoys, and he killed himself.
Okay.
And of course, this was another robot shooting himself in the head. He didn't know he had been a fake all this time.
Huh.
But whatever's happening here, the original, breathing and bleeding Dum Dum Dugan is coming back.
Was he frozen too?
He
got the Coulson treatment.
According to the comic books, he got the Fury treatment. He got the Infinity Formula.
Oh.
Oh.
At least that was the theory until he found out he was a life model decoy. So there's, who knows. But, you know, Dum Dum Dugan is one of those strange characters that you don't think much of until somebody mentions his name, and then you realize this is one of those guys that just, for fun, starts fucking fights.
Not to mention, he used to wield dual Tommy guns.
Yeah, there's a statement to be made right there.
Not
That's
an
a-
easily handled weapon.
That's one of those guys that every time you're about to raid someplace, you just say, "Hey, Dum Dum, go knock." Okay, and we have some DC comic news to go with everything. Convergence is over.
How was that?
I don't know. I did not read a page of it. I should, as somebody who does a comic book podcast, I should go check it out. But I got to admit that even among DC stalwarts, this is not done well. There have been a lot of people who said that there really didn't seem to be a whole lot of story to this particular event, and it seemed to exist for nothing more than to sell some books and to set up the next version of the DC universe.
Really? They're rebooting again?
They're not rebooting. It's gotten even weirder in the fact that they've opened the doors of the multiverse. Now, the multiverse, a lot of people would get that confused because this is not the 52. This is not 52 separate universes. What Convergence has done is open the doors to every version of DC Comics up to the Crisis on Infinite Earths. For some reason, everything that came before the Crisis on Infinite Earth is still locked away. But everything in their past, up to that point, is now available for writers to work with. Which means the pre-Flashpoint DC is back on the table. The pre-Infinite Crisis DC is back on the table. And everything up to the just after the Crisis on Infinite Earths is available for DC writers to use. And this creates two reactions to me initially, and you guys can agree or disagree as you please. One, even though I'm not a DC reader, I like the idea that the older, more legacy-filled characters are back for DC to use. I think they lost a lot of opportunities for writing when you have to wipe away 2/3 of your history, okay? However, I do think this creates a problem because if they're going to write stories and now involve the pre- and post-Flashpoint characters, aren't you kind of inviting a fight among your own fans as to which is the superior version?
Yeah.
It's opening the doors for a civil war among your fan base.
To me, that just creates a serious potential problem. Because you need to properly sell your books to a point to make them very profitable, you need to unite your fans behind certain characters. And I don't mean those with just the W's, the S's, and the bats on their chest. I mean, they got to agree that this is the best absolute version of the character. And if you open the doors so that you can have the pre- and post-Flashpoint versions of Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, and all the other characters, the fights are going to start.
There also might be confusion.
That could be too. Not to mention that we found out that because of this series, all the previous versions of Brainiac that you've seen throughout DC history were all like drones sent by the original Brainiac, who's had problems getting off this planet where he's been collecting cities from the multiverses. We've now seen what the true Brainiac looks like, and he may not be a villain. He may have just sent defective versions of himself to try and get attention to be saved.
Oh.
Not quite sure how to feel about that either. I mean, the only way, in my opinion, this is a have your cake and eat it too situation is that technically Barbara Gordon as the current Batgirl and Oracle both exist.
Pre and post 52 exists. That's a possibility.
Yeah. Some other changes have come out. Some previews have come out about the post-Convergence world. We found out that Cyborg is getting another new look. It seems like they can't... He changes clothes more often than a Vegas showgirl, for crying out loud. But they've come out with a new version in this preview that appears to be Cyborg, who, if I read everything correctly, has died and been regenerated by some kind of outside force, so that he has this new look that makes him look... He looks more human than he has in previous years. At least without a disguise. I sent you the image so you can take a look at it. It looks like a very big mishmash of previous versions of Cyborg.
Wasn't he, in pre-52, didn't he actually go by the name of the Centurion or some shit like that, where he's all gold?
Oh, you're thinking of the Guardian, who's their Captain America clone. No, he's in DC Comics, he's always been Cyborg. Which, when I was a kid, sounded really cool. He's a cyborg whose name is Cyborg. Now, as an adult, I think, okay, so are we going to start calling Superman white guy?
No, Superman's not
crazy...
white enough to be a white guy. That would be Batman.
Yeah, well, we can just call Batman crazy shit. But there have also been images released and storylines that have come out that says that Superman is breaking up with Wonder Woman.
What?
Because the post-Flashpoint Superman is having a very serious issue with his powers, and it appears he wants to get that resolved.
I can understand that.
Yeah, without those powers, he's not exactly on Wonder Woman's level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's that whole Woman of Steel, Man of Tissue Paper conundrum, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, reverse that.
Yeah. We've also found out that Earth 2 versions of characters are also surviving, except that now it appears one of the biggest villains in Earth 2 is Jimmy Olsen.
Wow.
Okay.
He's got
I
some
love that.
He's got some weird powers and a costume, and he calls himself Dr. Impossible. Which sounds about as comic book as it gets, frankly.
Yeah. No, I'm actually totally behind that. Fuck yeah, Jimmy Olsen as a villain.
And it appears that Professor Zoom in the Flash comics has assembled a new crew of rogues who is supposed to be a mix of old and new, but I'll be honest, I don't recognize any of these people.
Really? Vic?
Yeah, I'll send it right now. I can't pick out a single character as to who they are.
I think Shay is the only one I can identify. No. I have no idea who any of these are.
Yeah, I don't recognize any of them.
Kind
I wonder if...
The one in the cloak looks like he might be tapping into the Speed Force.
Again, I have no context to any of this. It's a very interesting picture, but I don't know dick about any of this.
I'm kind of more curious about that energy portal. Because it
looks like the guy that's stretching is creating it for some reason.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is like I can see somebody's legs coming out of the portal, but then his arm is the one going into the portal, so...
No.
There's multiple portals
Yeah,
there.
there's multiple portals. He's going through at least 3 portals. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I see
Yeah.
it now. That's what I was
It's
confused.
not-
I was like, what the...
No, he's doing multiple things at once there. But they also released a preview of Justice League 41, which is supposed to pick up right after Convergence. And it seems to be they're going to throw us right into their next event, the Darkseid War, because the image is the redesign of DC Classic Mr. Miracle, the escape artist.
Ah.
He's the one who escaped from Darkseid's home world using technology he stole. And as far as redesigns go, I like this. It's nowhere near as loud as his prior costumes.
Yeah, which would kind of draw to the fact of like, well, how... Okay, I understand, you stole technology, but how the fuck did they not notice you leaving?
In that bright yellow and gold outfit he always wears.
It's like, dude,
I'll
you
stay in
should
the
be able to see
all-concealing-
this guy.
I'll stay in the all-concealing shadows where everyone can find me. Now, there's a new Starfire series starting post-Convergence.
I heard about that.
Yeah, they're the description by the writing team of Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor is that she's going to be naive, smart, realistic, and crazy.
That's a good mix of things.
Well, Starfire is one of those characters that, unfortunately, in my opinion, has never been done exactly well, because the story that a lot of writers and a lot of fans seem to keep overlooking is that regardless of how long she's been in the DC universe, she's still an alien. And they either tend to write her completely clueless about Earth culture or way too indoctrinated to it.
Hmm.
You know, the cartoon I always thought got it closer to the quirkiness of the character, but they were always going for that moe cute kind of style of stuff. There's actually an image of what her new costume is going to look like. I think we've gone over this once because they were looking for something that was sexy without being pornish, and this is what they came up with.
Almost reminiscent of what she looked like in the cartoon.
Except she's not wearing she's wearing bike shorts instead of a skirt.
Yeah.
This isn't one of those things I'm on the fence about. I think it's a decent redesign, but I don't think it's quite enough.
It looks like something someone would plausibly wear.
That's true. A lot of open holes in it, though.
Could be worse. Could be Power Girl.
I still have no problem with that costume, oddly enough. And they also talked about another post-Convergence series coming up called We Are Robin.
Oh.
Actually, the more I read about this concept, the more curious I'm about it. They're calling it... The concept of the show, or the comic is called the Robin Movement. You've got a bunch of young people who are taking it among themselves to do some, I guess you could say, amateur vigilante work using a combination of enthusiasm and technology and social media. That's how they keep in touch with each other.
Okay.
Most of the characters don't even know their real names. They know their network screen handles, like Robina with an A. Let's see. I'm sorry, I had it, but there's so much going on here, I just kind of lost it. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't find it in here. But yeah, most of them only know each other by their screen name, so it's relatively anonymous on top of everything else. It's a decent concept. I mean, you think sooner or later the people remaining in Gotham are either going to put up or shut up. And it's one of those cases where you finally have a group of brand new characters in the Bat universe who are not directly related to it, so you have room to come up with a whole new group of villains.
May not directly related, but highly influenced.
Yeah. And you can actually find new uses for more classic and maybe outclassed villains in the Batman universe, like the Penguin. Riddler would have a field day with this.
I wonder if
DC
he's like running it. That'd be funny.
Oh, that would be an interesting twist, wouldn't it? DC has also launched a new DCU campaign where they're putting out teasers regarding the new status of the DC universe post-Convergence. And they're showing off some interesting ideas, actually. I can't link you guys the individual pictures because the gallery set up in Newsarama. But the first image there is of Superman, as you can see. And, sorry, I gotta refresh the page. It was locking me into links to a gallery I couldn't get out of. But the Superman page there says, "The glasses are off for good. Are you ready?" Obviously referencing the fact that he has no secret identity anymore. God damn, something is really trying to throw me into ads like every opportunity it gets.
Oh,
There's
so
actually
they're
about...
making Batman Beyond Robin. Interesting.
Not exactly. The Batman Beyond, the one that's joined the regular DC universe, is actually not Terry McGinnis. It's a brand new character, they've said.
Well, according to the teasers, it says a Robin from the past.
Right, but this is still a character that came out of the future, so there could be a number of Robins between now and then.
True.
Mm-hmm.
For all we know, it could be Bluebird in a man suit. I don't know why there's a series for Bizarro.
Yeah.
There's a Cyborg teaser, Deathstroke.
Killing a god. Interesting.
Yeah. And there's Gotham Academy. I've heard that's wonderful, actually.
I'm getting the same three pictures. I'm getting Superman. Oh, there we go. Midnighter.
Yeah. He can predict your every move, but no one can predict what he'll do next. Are you ready?
No, you're not.
No.
Fight Deadpool. Fight Deadpool.
There's another one for Starfire. There's one for We Are Robin. We're not sidekicks, we're an army. Are you ready? And it cycles back around.
Yep.
You know, I'm still not what I would call a DC fanboy, but these teasers, it implies enough changes that I think I would flip through some DC books and see where they're going.
I'm especially curious about the Midnighter, just because I know how scary that fucker is.
I'm curious about the Midnighter. I'm actually curious about the new Batman now that it's not Batman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Commissioner Gordon in that armored suit, that's got to be a hell of a big pair of shoes to run into. Because, you know, there's a lot of people that are going to be trying to peel him out of that thing to find out who's in it.
Are you sure
And,
his identity's kept private or not, or public?
I don't know. I just know that when word gets out that there's a new Batman, there's a lot of people who will try and test themselves versus it.
Oh. Yeah.
Last bit of DC comic news I have is one that's off the beaten path for their universe. They're doing a science fiction satire book called Prez. Unfortunately, this is almost feasible. The story centers around an online election. They're for the first time ever, they're having an election for the President of the United States via online and social media.
Mm-hmm.
But because there's a write-in section, there's one girl who starts a social media firestorm trying to get herself written in as a candidate for President of the United States. Not only does she get written in, she wins.
Nice.
So it's a 12-issue miniseries where this 16-year-old viral sensation in the year 2026 becomes President of the United States.
I
That
could
is
see
just-
it happening.
It is plausible, unfortunately.
I mean, if there, other than the fact that you can't vote until you're 18, but even then, I could still see enough people just being like, "Oh yeah, this sounds like a good idea," and then others would be going, "Oh, this won't actually work, but I think it's funny."
Mm-hmm.
That's different enough for me to want to take a look. They have me curious at that one. Very curious. All right, from there we'll move into general comic book and convention news. That's where we talk about the items that don't just interest us about general comic books, but also the news that comes out about conventions across America. Just before we get into that, though, something just came across my feed as we were going through stuff here. This is breaking news as of today, and it is the fact that, according to executive producer Daniel Cerrone of the Constantine TV series, the show is officially dead.
Wow.
Damn.
So apparently the efforts to save the show have not gone well. Cerrone broke the news via Twitter, saying, quote, "I promised I'd share news when I had it. Sadly, that news is not good. The cast and the writers of Constantine are being released from their contracts. The studio tried to find a new home for the show, for which we're forever grateful, but those efforts didn't pan out. I'm sorry I wasn't provided any information on the attempts to sell the show elsewhere. All I can report is that the show is over." Unquote. There's much more here. It's a 6-7 paragraph statement, but I mean, that pretty much says it all right there. The show is officially done. So that's going to make some people very upset.
I haven't even had a chance to see it yet.
Well, now you have a chance to go watch it anywhere. Now, getting into the actual general comic book and convention news, because we're 5 weeks away from Comic-Con, of course, there's going to be a lot more news about that coming out very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is actually one I would like to see. I would have to line up early to do this. Word is that there's going to be a live table read of an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants at Comic-Con.
Pass.
That's got to be hilarious, man. Tom Kenny, the actor of SpongeBob, and several actors from the show will get together to live read a script from the show in front of fans at Comic-Con.
Well,
and I have a feeling that's not going to go like the show. I think there's going to be a lot of breaks and jokes added into that.
yeah, I'm with Jesse. I'll pass.
Yeah, not my cup of tea either. But I can see a lot of people being into that.
Oh, yeah.
I think I would find this funny. There's actually a vote right now on Facebook of a choice of 6 different episodes for the table read. Squidtastic Voyage, Two Faces of Squidward, A Flea in Her Dome, Grandma's Kisses, That's No Lady, or Idiot Box.
I have no idea what any of those are.
Well, I poked through the Facebook page just to see what the vote was. You had to like the picture associated with the episode to vote. And right now, Idiot Box is in the lead by almost 2-1. Further on in Comic-Con news, there's a star out there that may actually drag more of you into particular panel rooms. Word is that Bruce Campbell's going to be there.
Interesting.
And, I'm sorry?
I said interesting.
Yep. Bruce Campbell actually tweeted not too long ago, quote, "Hell yes, you will. Might have a special treat with me," unquote, in response to someone's question about Comic-Con this year. And then he ended that with a hashtag, Ash vs. Evil Dead. If you remember, that show comes out fairly soon. So it seems pretty likely he's going to be there, probably promoting the show. Oh, the Grant Ward Warriors. They're a fan community dedicated to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Grant Ward. They announced on Twitter that their meetup for Comic-Con is full.
Of course it is.
I already RSVP'd. They have slots for 4 of us.
Oh.
There's
You're
that
welcome.
sound again.
You're welcome! I did get confirmation.
Nice.
Yeah. I work hard. Also, I can actually announce to you guys that we got approved for press for the another part of San Diego Comic-Con's third-party events that pop up around it.
Which one?
We got access to Walker Stalker Con and the Walking Dead Fan Escape.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So, they gave us an allotment. It's not exactly for the full 8 of us that are showing up, of course.
No.
But we got an allotment of badges, so we'll actually have access and be able to take a look around. And they actually just announced that they added a few stars to their to the Walker Stalker Fan Fest going on during the weekend. All actors from the show. They're bringing in Brighton Sharbino, Kyla Kennedy, Chad Coleman, who played Tyrese, Tyler James Williams, who played Noah, Michael Rooker, who played Merle, Russ Striner, I'm not quite sure who that is. Oh, he played Johnny in Night of the Living Dead, and Judith O'Day from Night of the Living Dead are showing up. Lawrence Gillard Jr., who played Bob on The Walking Dead, Tyrone Singleton, who played T-Dog, Emily Kinney, who was Beth, and Scott Wilson, who played Abraham. No, not Abraham. God, what's his name? The old farmer on the show. Shit, I'm blanking.
Can't help you. Didn't watch it.
God damn it.
I'd probably be more excited if I actually watched any of that stuff.
Oh, Herschel. He played Herschel. I knew it was an old biblical name of some sort. So these are all actors from the show, and in addition to a couple from Night of the Living Dead, they're showing up at this fan fest going on for 2 days. 2 days, and they have all this already jammed into it.
Yeah.
And that means it's Jesse's turn to do the Walking Dead escape.
I'm gonna kill myself right now.
Great, you can play a walker. They've also for Comic-Con, the same day that they announced this opened, the tickets were sold out. There's a Star Wars fan breakfast, an annual Star Wars fan breakfast going on, and the tickets were only $15 via donation to their site and $25 that you brought in cash to the Edgewater Grill. They sold out the same morning they announced it on May 26th. This apparently is a hot event, and the only reason I didn't even know it was happening was because this happened the last day of, or this announcement was made while I was traveling back home from Fanime. I was not in a position to monitor things like I usually do.
Damn.
Yeah. The wait list filled up the same day, too. People also had an opportunity, if they wanted to, up until May 24th, to sign up as volunteers for Nerd HQ. Another third-party fan event that goes on. Nerd HQ usually gets some interesting guests associated with it. It's been run by Zachary Levi from Chuck in the past. I think he's still running it, but now he's Zachary Levi of Heroes Reborn. Yeah, the volunteer applications close on the 24th. So if you missed out, sorry, but we were busy too. Speaking of Comic-Con, exclusives are always a big deal when it comes to the convention. There's always people who are looking to buy something they can't get anywhere else. Now this year, Entertainment Earth is selling whale bobbleheads.
What?
Okay.
Whale bobbleheads. It's officially a whale bobblehead, although bobblehead is kind of a misnomer because it's their tails that waggle. The reason why they're bringing this to Comic-Con, and I sent you the image, is because they are the whales from Star Trek IV, The Voyage
Oh,
Home.
I want them.
I will get that.
So, I mean, it's heavily watermarked there, but you can clearly make out the scene where Spock is trying to mind meld with one of the whales.
Oh,
Yep.
no, dude, that's awesome. Star Trek 4 is my favorite Star Trek movie.
The company is taking pre-orders online for this right now. Those pre-orders are only for excess stock of the 1,998 individually numbered displays that are not sold at Comic-Con itself. So you can pre-order it right now, and it'll be delivered after Comic-Con, or you can go to the Entertainment Earth booth at Comic-Con and pick this up.
How much?
There is not a word as to how much this is. Hang on, let me click the link.
I'm a big fan of marine wildlife as well as, a moderate Star Trek fan. So this is...
Okay. I clicked the link that was associated with the website to the Entertainment Earth site.
Uh-huh.
The Star Trek 4 whales with Spock bobblehead, convention exclusive, is $19.99.
What?
We're getting
$20
that.
bucks.
Yeah, I could afford that.
Are you kidding? I could almost imagine V and Jesse getting to the booth together, and then there's one left, and they have to fight it out Mortal Kombat style to figure out who's taking it home.
Dun, 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 dun.
And then there's Steve in the background with a faux king hat he bought at a bad booth who just yells, "Finish him!"
Or he's implying V just won, then. Fuck you.
There's also some other exclusive announcements from NECA, who makes action figures.
Uh-huh.
There's a Rambo action figure exclusive coming to Comic-Con.
Oh, wow.
I shit you not.
Wow.
It's Toy Art's Rambo 7th, The Force of Freedom. Or that's where it came from, I should say. It's a retro action figure based on Rambo, it looks like from the First Blood days. It's actually a pretty good-looking action figure. It's not something I would put on a shelf, but if you're a fan of movies or action figures, this ain't bad. Definitely has more articulation than figures in the past. There's also Pacific Rim minifigures. Looks like they're all kaijus from Topless Robot. And we talked before about the T-800 retro-style figure with radioactive glow and the Predator figure.
Yeah.
You know, all kinds of weird stuff coming out. Do you remember a while ago we talked about the Doctor Who comic that was coming out that was going to cross over 4 Doctors? It was supposed to be the most Doctors ever seen in a story. Yeah. Okay. There was a mystery figure in the back that was a white silhouette.
Yeah.
Well, Titan Comics released a preview of this upcoming Doctor Who crossover event. They're replacing their 3 running series of the 10th, 11th, and 12th Doctors for 2 or 3 months while they do this. And it turns out the theory was correct. In 5 out of 6 pages of this preview, it features John Hurt's War Doctor.
Nice.
And the 6th page of the preview is the Peter Capaldi Doctor arguing with his companion Clara about something. It appears she had a vision of something.
Clara.
Yep. But they also said, when we read the synopsis 2 or 3 weeks ago, that it's not just the Doctors that are getting together, but their primary companions are also coming along for the ride.
Right.
Oh, fun.
So we get to see Clara, Rose, and probably
Donna,
probably
Martha, Amy. Yeah.
I would say Amy.
Amy.
Probably.
Yeah.
Amy.
Is going to come along. Because Donna and Martha have their places in the Doctor Who pantheon, but they are nowhere near as popular as Amy
Yeah, so probably Rose, Amy,
and Clara.
Clara. Yeah.
You have to give it that Scottish drawl, don't you?
That's how she says it.
Okay. Okay. Don't stab me. I'm afraid you're going to appear behind me in a blue box and just beat the shit out of me.
What are you talking about? What's already happened?
It's already happened. Hey, I'm not the one fighting her for the bobblehead, asshole.
No, this one she's doing just for free.
Last bit of general comic news I have is that Chuck Palahniuk, the writer of Fight Club, he said that Fight Club 2 was too dark and too upsetting for prose.
Really?
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, can you imagine? He wrote a story that's too upsetting for books? Is that what he's saying? So he decided that comic books with a visual element is a better way to tell this story?
That makes no sense.
I'm not sure I understand.
Actually, yes, it does make sense, because there are some things, if you describe them in like full text, they're more disturbing than a comic, but still,
sometimes it's just more difficult.
Yeah.
That could be.
I don't know about too upsetting. That seems a little.
I wonder if the primary character, who I don't think they ever really gave a name in the movie or the book, I wonder if he's going to be heavily medicated for the sequel. Because obviously he's got some bad schizophrenia there.
Too dark for books, really? And Game of Thrones is not.
Right?
Game of Thrones was a book series.
Hey, at least Game of Thrones is full frontal, okay? Okay, next up we have anime in Japan news. We have news from across the Pacific Ocean because 3 out of 4 of us are heavy anime fans, and the 4th one just won't kill us if we watch it.
As long as it's good.
Yeah.
As long as it's quality.
That's the problem, is that word is subjective.
Yep.
There was a surprising thing that came out while Steve and I were at Fanime. The creator of Neon Genesis Evangelion, Hideki Anno, he's predicting the death of anime. He had an interview with a Russian news agency, RAA Nostovi, and he told them that the anime industry as we know it will end in the next 5 to 20 years. He cited decline and death are unavoidable. Quote, Japanese animation is in decline. It's already peaked. After it does collapse, there will probably be a new resurgence. Unquote. But he wonders if people will wait for the rebirth of the anime industry.
I suppose that depends on if there is something to replace it.
Well, he further said that, quote, I don't think animation will vanish, but perhaps there might not be the conditions that have existed up until now that have led to the creation of interesting films, unquote. So I guess he thinks there will just be less money in anime after what he perceives as the death of it. I would argue that based on what we've read about what animators are paid, there's not much money in it now.
Yeah, that's what because that's what I'm thinking of is, once the industry dies, who's going to be willing to put up with the shit that they're going through right now to,
Well, maybe that's what he's speaking of. Maybe he's speaking of somebody that knows the ins and outs and what's paid to people who aren't suits who are producing this stuff, and maybe he's saying it's just not worth the hassle anymore, or it's not going to be very soon. Maybe that's what he was getting to, because it seems like there's a lot of mixed metaphors probably in the translation. You know, it seems like it's a Japanese man speaking to a Russian man, and somehow this got translated into English via Eva Geeks. So, you know, maybe that's what he's talking about. Maybe there's just not the money in it anymore. Anime Expo actually announced a new event they're putting on. They're calling it Cool Japan Festival, featuring Wagaka Band and Iya. Iya is a virtual artist. She's one of the characters from the Vocaloid series of games.
Okay.
So it appears they're going to have another Hollow concert. Wagaki Band is a Japanese rock band that appears to have, I think it's 8 or 9 members. And they play Vocaloid tunes with a combination of modern instruments and traditional Japanese instruments. They've become more well-known from a YouTube hit called Sensbun Zakura. It's had over 20 million views. Their latest single is Ikusa Nadeshiko Sakura, which is the theme song for the anime adaptation of Samurai Warriors. Tickets for this particular event, which is going to... It doesn't say which date, but I believe it's going on... July 3rd during the convention. Ticket prices are starting at $50 and became available as of May 30th. The VIP section at $65 and $75 have already sold out. It's just the $50 versions that are available right now, as far as I know. I don't plan on going to this myself simply because I'm not a Vocaloid fan, and this seems to be what this event is all about. But they are holding it in Club Nokia, which is where Jesse and I went to the evening party for Kamikaze. So at least it's an actual stage event. It's not going on in the convention center itself. Also, Kyoto Animation has announced that they're doing an upcoming event on October 31st and November 1st. They're calling it KyoAni Do Fan Days. KyoAni and Do Fan Days 2015. It has the subtext of, this is what we are now. It appears to be it looks like they're putting on a weekend festival celebrating their animation projects.
Okay.
This is scheduled to occur over at Kiyoshi Kyoto at Miyako Messe. I don't know if that's a stadium or if that's a stage or what that is. But some visuals have surfaced via their official website. This is one of those things that I have enough interest in KyoAni's properties that even though I don't like a lot of them, I'd probably go check this out just for fun. However, I don't have the money to cross the Pacific Ocean. Now, sometimes in Anime Japan news, they come out with products that just really don't make sense to us. We've covered a few of these. This is another one that I don't quite get. Now, Steve and Jesse probably know what the word pantsu is.
Yeah.
No.
Really? You don't know?
I didn't take Japanese.
It's not
Japanese. It's English. In English.
Yeah.
Pantsu.
Pantsu is the quasi-English word that the Japanese have for panties. Okay?
Yep.
Now, what they've come up with, and this shocks the piss out of me, is water bottle pantsu.
Okay.
Yeah, you heard that correctly, and it is exactly what you think it is. It's panties for your water bottles. Supposedly it's to stop the condensation of cold bottles from hitting
sure it is.
tabletop. I sent you an image. That's what the image is about. This makes me uncomfortable in several degrees.
I'm closing this window.
Now, if it was something as simple as just panties, that would be a conversation piece and kind of funny. But the fact that you have shippaman, you have yellow panties with little flowers on it,
The
leopard print,
Ichigo panties, that's fucking awesome.
yeah, white cotton, and then white cotton with strawberries? Dude, there's something very wrong with this picture.
Oh, even the fucking traditional blue-white striped panties. Wow.
Yeah.
With a bow.
Yeah,
Pink bow.
Yes.
You know what? If this is your thing and you want to pick this up, fine. Do whatever makes you happy that doesn't hurt somebody. But even if you're an anime or Japanese or Japan cultural fan and you're going to entertain people, please, for the love of God, buy fucking coasters. Have this for those days where you just feel like laughing to yourself. Don't have this when you have your mother or your date over. For the love of God, no.
Well, it doesn't even truly stop condensation because it's, for a standard bottle, it's got those little pegs at the and
I know.
so two of them come through the hole, and it.
I know.
Okay.
But dude, in all fairness, Japan.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, just Japan.
I love the question mark. It's like, what are you guys hiding? What else
The
is
black
there?
laces for your bottle.
Yeah, the victory panties.
Now, there was another story that came out over the last couple of weeks. It just kind of surprised me. I sent you an image that they captured directly off of TV when they wrote this article on Kotaku. What do you think that's about? It's an image of three relatively good-looking Japanese males. It looks like a lady who's thinking about something between the three.
Mail order groom?
And any other theories?
Dating game? I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe something like the bidding type. You know what? I don't know. The fact that it's
Okay.
going on at 9:15 in the morning, kind of.
Yeah, this screen cap came off of Hatsuneku Live Vivid. It's a nationwide morning show in Japan, kind of like the Today Show for people who, don't like drinking themselves stupid. Because I've seen the Today Show. Those women do nothing but drink in the morning, which really bothers me. But what you're looking at here is called Rentaru Karashi. Translated, that means boyfriend rentals.
Oh, okay.
I was pretty
This is-
close.
This is an actual companion service that you can use to rent boyfriends.
Now, how
don't
is
know
that
if-
legal?
That's kind
and
of
yet this
intriguing.
other shit that they've been, not. Other
I
than the
don't
fact that
know-
I guess it would be the age at that point.
Look, dude, I don't know if boyfriend rental has anything to do with happy endings. For all I know, this could just be like a male escort service. And technically, with air quotes, escort services involve dates, not sex.
Right.
So my question is, what kind of... I want to know if these 50, 60, and 70, 100 yen prices, are those by the day, by the hour, by the minute? What the fuck, man?
I would hope by the day.
Because this sounds expensive. Okay. No. Okay. Further on in the article, they actually say here that those prices are by the hour.
Oh, damn.
Scheisse.
$50 an hour?
Yeah. There's part of me that just says, dude, it's brilliant. You could make money and have absolutely no talent. But there's that small voice in the back of my head that's just saying, lady, rent a whore.
I think that's what these guys are.
Like I said, they're escorts. They're rent-a-boyfriends. They're not... I don't think they're technically supposed to involve sex.
Not
Technically.
Yeah, I don't know.
Boyfriend,
It's supposed to offer all the perks of having a boyfriend without all the messy relationship shit. Which almost runs back to the sex question.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, so sex, right?
Now, according to the rules of the business, you're not even allowed to kiss your rental boyfriend. Hand-holding and hugging are okay. This is supposed to be about companionship. You know what? So are the soap plazas that I've read about.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the woman in this picture and I'm like, she's old.
Thanks! Wow! That's a wonderful way to start the conversation there.
I'm
You know what?
sorry. I'm
Hey,
looking at it, it's like, she's...
You know what, lady? I don't know why you're
Way
renting a
older than
boyfriend
these
because
guys.
you're fucking ancient. That's great. Okay, now we've gone from that image, and I'm going to show you another image. What do you think this is about? You see two relatively young girls, and when I say young, I mean looks like 18 to 20, surrounded by dudes who definitely have way too much time on their hands at the gym. What do you think this is?
Japanese Dale party?
Something like that, yeah.
Steve, any guesses?
Gym membership recruitment.
Okay. None of you are correct. Where they're at is a restaurant called Legends. Think of it as the Japanese version of male Hooters.
I saw an article for male Hooters in the United States, actually.
I saw that too.
Yeah. But this place is called Japan's Macho Cafe. And believe it or not, this is doing very, very well.
I
Would you like to
believe
know how well?
Numbers.
This is I don't have numbers. I have an image of the line from outside Macho Cafe. Take a look at that.
Look at all those skirts.
Hey, I see pants in there
Yeah,
too. Women wear
very,
pants.
very tight pants.
Well, the place is located in Tokyo, and right now it's open for limited dates. It is not a daily service, probably because most of the guys are out there pumping iron during their off time. But on the days it's open, it does have a consistently long line. This is very popular out there.
I believe it.
You know, there's one other image here. I almost wasn't going to share it, but I got to show it to you guys because it's an image of one of the I guess you could say wait staff serving one of the customers. And no, I don't mean serving in that format, but just the way he's working that squeeze bottle of whatever that is over pancakes, and the way she's yelling. All I can hear is use more cream, put it all over the place. I want it all the cream all over.
Oh my!
It's like
Even got the Chippendale bow tie.
It's like a fucking maid cafe in a way.
Almost, yeah.
It leads me to wonder if they have to do little charms at the end.
Well, that shows you one thing. Japan does believe in gender equality.
Yep.
You can get your males ogled as easily as your females.
I'm okay with this.
Of course you would be.
I think that awkward stance that he's using is a
Yeah,
little
I
bit
was
embarrassing.
noticing that.
Well, that's because he's showing off them shoulders and that pecs while he's squeezing that bottle, baby. Now, sometimes when we talk about Japan, there's odd cultural items that kind of pop through now and again that are just hard to ignore. And they have started advertising they've started advertising with a cross promotion for Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
Now, what would you promote using Dragon Ball Z? Actually, let me be more specific. They're using the character of Vegeta to promote this product.
Vegetable products?
Vegetables?
No.
Hairspray?
Character from Dragon Ball Z.
That's
I
true.
I will, V, I love your guess the best. That was awesome. But no. I sent a video. I want you to, I sent it.
Cup noodles.
What? Noodles.
What?
There's a special new vegetable version of cup noodles featuring Vegeta.
See? So I was right. Vegetables.
No, it's cup noodles. They just happen to put there's vegetables in all cup noodles, but this is like an all vegetable.
This will be a big hit in America, to be honest.
Yeah, it will.
This would be a big fan. This would be a big hit with Dragon Ball Z marks everywhere.
Well, I mean, the whole reason why I said vegetables is because Vegeta's name is vegetables.
Vegetables,
But anyway.
yes.
I know. It's still one of those cases where if he has to use all this massive power to destroy vegetables, how strong are you really? Come on.
That was a pretty big lettuce, I
I
gotta
wonder
say.
if the American voice actor would actually dub this.
You know what, to be fair, though, that may be a big lettuce, but Yajirobe could take care of that thing by himself. Now, the other thing that Japan is really getting into lately is live-action adaptations of a lot of their more popular animated series lately. We've heard about the Attack on Titan movie. We've heard about the Naruto and Death Note stage plays, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
They've just announced a new live-action stage play for Tokyo Ghoul.
I heard that.
That is one that I haven't started reading.
Tokyo Ghoul, I have not followed it myself. The imagery is very dark. It's some kind of very dark and macabre series.
Well, with a name like Ghoul, and you would kind of
That would
expect
be
it.
sitting, yeah.
I could recognize it by view, but I still couldn't tell you what it's about. It often involves freakish zipper masks and red eyes and stuff. Very freakish. But among Gothic fans, it appears to be a tremendous hit.
Okay.
But they've already released a bunch of promo pictures of what the actors are supposed to look like in the stage play. You want to take a quick look?
Sure.
Sure.
I have no context to tell you who anyone here is or who they're playing, but they do look like a good set of actors, at least. They do look like even though I have no idea who the characters are, they do look like live adaptations of anime tropes, I guess you could say.
Well, as
I
soon
like
as
the
it
one at the
loads.
top. Yeah, the other pictures aren't loading, but the two in the top are.
I can't even get the page to load.
Yeah, just,
Oops, there, what?
I have no context for this. And
Oh, there we go.
This is a good-looking set of promo pics, at the very least.
if they're doing live action adaptations of their animes, better would be like they tried to do Ranma 1/2.
God, it'd probably be too frantic, and besides which, I don't know if people would allow that to happen. That'd be a lot of girls getting water thrown on them in wet t-shirt contests and shit. Also in anime and Japan news, I have a katana of unusual make.
It's-
There is a sword known as a Sword of Heaven, or Tenetsudo. It's a katana created by a master Japanese swordsmith known as Yoshindo Yoshiwara. And most katanas are blades of beauty and just amazing craftsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, Tenetsusuda, is unusual due to its materials. The blade is actually forged from a fragment of a massive Gibeon iron meteorite that landed in Namibia in prehistoric times.
Ooh.
The metal of the sword from the meteorite is guessed to have been formed around 4 billion years ago.
Oh, nice.
The sword right now is on permanent public display at the Chiba Institute of Technology at Tokyo Skytree Tower. You want to take a quick look at it?
Sure.
You know, I've seen a lot of steel swords being like a Japan cultural nut and stuff, but there is something about some of the up-close looks at this thing. This looks like a very sharp, very shimmering blade.
That looks cool.
I couldn't say for sure if there's anything truly different about it by view. I mean, I'm looking at it third-party through pictures, but it does look like a very awesome sword.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks well-kept, too. Maybe it was just refinished. Maybe I'm missing something here. Still, though, you have to wonder if some young Water Tribe boy is going to come and try and steal it back.
No, the guy at Man Arms made that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not laughing because of the YouTube video. I'm not a fan of those. I was laughing because as soon as you said that, all I could picture was some guy in humongous, oversized green armor trying to pound that thing flat. Last bit of anime in Japan news I have. There is a trailer that was released for an upcoming Bandai Namco video game. One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 is coming.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a quick demonstration. It's a video about 2 minutes long of Luffy and his brothers taking on multiple foes in this particular video game. It sounds like another one of those Dynasty Warriors clones. Want to take a quick look?
Sure.
All right. I sent it. Yeah, Peggy 12 has been very, very influential lately in Japanese video games. Bandai Namco, who have made money they've made lots of money for me over the years. Oh, one of the balls has a sakura leaf falling into it. I did not know the character of Monkey D. Luffy had brothers.
They're not
Sworn
biological.
brothers in a way.
Oh, okay. As I say, I'm sure that family tree has very few branches to it.
And this one's supposed to have died. Did he die early on, or is it this?
He supposedly died. You never saw the body. He came back in one of the more recent arcs. He's actually working for Luffy's father.
Yeah, according to the description with the clip here, it says that Sabo and Luffy are together again a long time after they were surviving in the Grey Terminal with Ace. On Dressrosa, their indestructible friendship will be of great help to defeat the Don Flamingo family.
Yeah, except that Ace is already dead.
Yeah.
One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, and Steam will be reaching Europe, the Middle East, and Australian shores on August 2015. Doesn't say anything about a US release.
Yeah. Actually, in the Dressrosa arc, the guy that was supposedly dead comes back and actually dresses up as Luffy and takes over his place as Lucy in the fight so that Luffy can go raid Don Quixote's castle.
Huh. You know, the animation style in this game reminds me a bit of the cell shading trick from the early 2000s. I wonder if there's an influence there.
I think it's just the particular style of game.
Probably. One Piece Pirate Warriors 3, August 2015 for Europe. Screw the US.
Licensing.
Okay, we have nerd interest news. We talk about nerdy projects that interest us that don't quite fall into comic book and entertainment pantheons. We've had a few conversations on the show where we wonder why it is that comic book fans in particular are so against change so often. You know how that is. I mean, often when there's big changes to characters, there is a loud segment of people screaming, and sometimes the only way it ever goes away is just because they get tired of yelling, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, according to Travis Langley, he's a psychology professor at Henderson State University, and he studies and writes about popular culture. He describes it as the process of becoming familiar with a certain character as making a mental map. So when there are deviations from this particular mental map, it causes fanboy rage.
That makes sense.
He says, quote, in our heads, we have our own versions of these characters and stories, our mental maps of them. When writers and companies make changes that don't fit our mental maps, it can be jarring to us. We either have to alter our maps or reject the new information so we can keep our maps the same, unquote.
Huh.
That's a very good way to describe fanboy rage. Unfortunately, just the fact that he's been able to finally describe it and make a diagnosis of it doesn't mean it's ever going away.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, speaking as a fanboy, we can be fucking stupid.
Well, it's an emotional response. It doesn't really require logic.
Yeah, except somehow I've managed to set my mental map so that I like change. I like it when things deviate from what I consider normal. It entertains
I
me.
agree. Well, I think that
In certain things. I'm sure there's things, if somebody changed it, you'd be like, fuck no.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like the fact that Seamus is rocksteady, but that's personal opinion.
But again, that's, somebody changing what you're familiar with from your childhood.
Yeah, but I would have liked it more if they deviated more from the original design. I would have liked if they come up with something completely new, frankly. That's the thing.
It depends on how they change things. Like, for instance, the Harry Dresden TV series made his wizard staff be a hockey stick for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
And they turned Bob the Skull, which would have been infinitely cooler, into a ghost.
Well, I will say I'm not terribly excited about Dwayne Johnson as Jack Burton.
Yeah. I mean, there's always things that we're just like, yeah, I like it better this way.
Now, some people may not be aware of this, but it was actually repeated recently on IO9. Believe it or not, the imagery we have of a lot of Viking armor from entertainment is not the way this stuff usually looked. It was much more mundane than you think.
Yeah, no horns.
No horns, no wings, no fancy accoutrements on a lot of helmets. It was pretty much meant to be a bucket to protect your skull.
Yeah, no, the horns and wings and stuff like that was demon propaganda by Christian society.
Yeah, according to a paper that was submitted by Lauren Shaw, she shares some knowledge being pulled from her medieval studies on Vikings. What she read was that the main items for a Viking would be a helmet, a shield, a knife, and then a spear or an axe. Using a round shield provides a big protective advantage that makes armor less important when fighting in a shield wall. Padded gambesons would probably be found most often as a nice bit of padded armor that's easy to put on once you get to dry land, and it does help reduce the impact of a wound. Helmets, though, would be very important. It's one thing the Vikings TV show doesn't show very well, unquote.
The helmets?
Yeah. I've seen a few clips from the show. I have not watched the show, I've not watched a full episode yet, but yeah, nobody seems to wear a helmet on that show.
It's not at all historically accurate. It's actually otherwise a really good show, but...
So if you're looking for history, fuck it. If you're looking for guys ripping each other apart with battle axes, awesome!
Yes. Pretty much. Well, also the drama and acting and all that is good, but...
Okay. Well, I have a list here. We seem to enjoy the lists we come up with, especially the ones that come from IO9 and Rob Bricken. And this one is very much in our alley. He's got a list of the 13 strangest deities in Dungeons & Dragons.
Oh, this should be good.
You know what? Before I start reading this, I'll give you guys each one guess from your knowledge of D&D of any deities that would be on this list, and I will look those up first.
Oh, God. Just from D&D, not Pathfinder?
You're muted, Jesse.
Vecna.
Vecna, yeah,
What?
Vecna's one.
Spell it.
Vecna.
Not on the list.
Lolth, maybe? LL, I think OTH? Or
LLOLTH.
That's
Lolth.
right.
Ormosh?
Not on the list. Jesse, you already had a guess. Steve?
Let's see. Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
Okay, what specifically is this of again?
D&D
This is a list, according to Rob Bricken, of the 13 strangest deities in Dungeons & Dragons. Yeah.
See, the problem is, strange is very subjective. Let's go with Ganondorr.
Spell it.
Fuck. Gaundor, maybe?
Not on the list.
No, I don't think it has an H. Gaundor. Yeah, something.
Not on the list.
Yeah.
Okay, well, number 1 on this list of the 13 strangest deities in D&D is Hextor.
Okay.
Quote, Hextor is a god of war, which makes him a pretty major player in the D&D pantheon. Many of his other domains fall in the same spectrum, like discord, conflict, and massacres. However, he's also the god of tyranny and fitness.
Fitness?
Hey, I hate exercise as much as the next guy, but I find it strange that if I want to get into shape, I need to pray to the same deity that tyrants pray to when they need help oppressing their subjects, unquote.
I don't think that's quite true, though, because Cord is from the same pantheon, and he's also pretty up on the fitness.
Well, there have been multiple pantheons throughout human history that have overlapping gods.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know,
That's
you
from
don't
different
have to
societies.
worship Hextor. You can worship Cord if you want to be fit.
Yeah, but at least Hextor will actually drive you to do something.
No, Cord was a deity of strength and so on and so forth, so it makes sense.
Well, number 2 is Erethnul.
Oh, Erethnul, the death god, yeah.
Yeah. Quote, standard god of evil stuff like hate, envy, malice, and slaughter, which is somehow different from massacres, which is, of course, Hextor's domain. I imagine it can get pretty tricky deciding whether you're going to massacre somebody or slaughter them, which makes it difficult to know who to pray to. Erethnul is also the god of ugliness, which seems like a very weird thing to pray for. Do you ask Erethnul to impart ugliness on others? If you're ugly, do you pray to him to keep you ugly? What if you're attractive but just have really low self-esteem, unquote?
Yeah, well, also the fact that his sister is the goddess of beauty.
So
Don't
kind of
know.
a yin and yang type thing.
Yeah.
Well, he
number-
started out not that bad, but he got caught by the god of torturing, I think. He literally had all his skin ripped off him and everything else. Yeah. It was pretty bad.
Well, number 3 on this list is Karan.
Not
I
familiar.
don't know that one.
Quote, it's the werewolf god. Everybody has to have a god, and since in D&D lycanthropy doesn't have a horrible curse, there can be an entire race of werewolves, or there can be noble werewolves. They certainly need someone to pray to. Karan is also the god of wild savagery, which makes a certain amount of sense, and urban decay. I presume because if you're a werewolf, you generally prefer nature to cities and want them all to go to hell. Strangely, Karan is also the god of cannibalism, which seems like a domain that was assigned to him when he missed a meeting or something. I can't imagine the werewolves are particularly happy about this, because it's not like lycanthropy makes them suddenly want to eat humans. Plus, this means somewhere there's an actual cannibal praying to Karan to help him be the best cannibal he can be. And that's ridiculous, unquote. Number 4 on this list is Evening Glory. Quote, the goddess of love, beauty, and the seemingly unrelated immortality through undeath. I mention her mostly because her name is Evening Glory, which even the other gods must find preposterously obnoxious, unquote.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then number 5 is Fenmarel Mysterin.
Probably
Quote, this-
Elven.
Quote, this minor elvish deity is the god of the wild elves, who are different from the other races of elves because they eschew civilization. As such, Fenmarel is also the god of isolation, which makes sense as wild elves seldom want anything to do with anybody, and outcasts, which is a little weird because wild elves weren't thrown out of society for as much as they left. Last and presumably least, Fenmarel is the god of scapegoats, which is vastly confusing. Do you pray to him when you need a scapegoat or when you are a scapegoat, unquote?
R.
Well, the next god on this list is Gnomish. Baravar
yeah.
Cloakshadow. Baravar Cloakshadow. Quote, this Gnomish deity is the god of illusions, protection, and deception. He's also the god of hatred of goblinoids, the races of monsters who tend to give gnomes the hardest time. While goblins are patently evil in the D&D verse, they are sentient, making Baravar a god of very specific racism, unquote.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the relationship between elves and dwarves. That's racism at its finest right there.
Yep.
Well, actually, the next god on this list has to do with an entirely, well, not entirely different, but a much different race. Elistrae.
Elistrae, yeah. She's
yeah.
the goddess of
Quote-
good drow.
Quote, to know Elistrae, you have to know the Drow. The Drow are a race of evil elves who live underground and basically spend all their days murdering each other because they're so damn evil. There has been one good Drow in the history of D&D, and that's Driz Duerden, who
That's
is
not
one of
true.
the Mary Suiest characters in all of fiction.
Yeah.
That is.
And he's been the star of countless novels and is the only reason any D&D player has ever been interested in the Drow, of which there is now a terrifying amount of material. Anyways, Elis Rei is apparently the goddess of good Drow, which means she has one worshipper on the planet. This is nonsense, unquote.
No, this is complete nonsense because he's completely misrepresenting it. But anyway.
Oh, he's just talking about D&D, not the books.
No, I'm serious. She has actual worshippers. It's not just one guy. He didn't even worship her. He worshipped Meiliki, which was a human goddess. Shit, she even had a fucking chosen. She cooperated with Mistra for. Anyway.
I don't know. I ditched out in the books pretty early. Item number 8 on the list of the 13 deities on D&D according to IO9 is Kurgobayug.
Who? Never
Okay.
heard of him.
Quote, the goblin god of slavery, oppression, and morale, the last of which seems completely incompatible with the first two. It's like being the god of fire, heat, and popsicles. It just doesn't make sense, unquote. Item number 9 is Wastri.
Wastri?
Wastri. Quote, the god of amphibians, and a god of self-deception and bigotry. Now, obviously, being a god of frogs and bigotry is amazing, especially since this very likely means that all amphibians in Dungeons & Dragons are unrepentant bigots, to the point where they pray for help in maintaining their bigotry. But let's not overlook the fact that Wastri is also the god of self-deception. If you're praying to Wastri so you don't realize something, haven't you already failed? And if you have deceived yourself, how do you know to pray to Wastri for thanks? I don't think Wastri thought this through. Probably too busy dealing with all these racist frogs. Quote.
I don't know if this list is all that good.
Yeah.
Let me see. Deity number 10 is Aminator.
Oh, Amateur.
Amator.
Amator, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that the dead god?
No.
Quote this deity from the Forgotten Realms was a god of bureaucracy and actually died because no one worshipped him. Seriously, unquote.
Yeah.
Maybe because you had to fill out too many forms to worship?
Pretty much.
Number 11 on this list is Shares.
Yeah.
Sharesh is
Shares.
weird?
I don't know that she's now that weird.
This minor Forgotten Realms goddess is a deity of hedonism, sensual fulfillment, fest halls, and cats. Her commitment to both hedonism and cats is such that her appearance is that of a very well-endowed woman with a cat head. Wikipedia states, she has the individualistic and hedonistic personality of a feline, and she is constantly grooming herself to ensure her appearance is always up to standards. I think if you're a god with the power and desire to clean your butthole with your tongue, then you have definitely earned the right to be the deity of hedonism, unquote.
It's actually taken. It's the Forgotten Realms version of Set, or not Set.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
What's
Isis?
Cat one? No.
I want to say it was like Hastor or something.
No.
Hathor.
Hathor, that's it.
No, it's the.
Oh, no, I think it is.
Bast. Yeah. That's it.
That's right, Bast.
Oh, Bast or Bastet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Hathor's the cow one.
Yeah.
Number 12 on this list is the Lady of Pain.
Oh, that's from the Planescape Torment, or
Yes.
from the Plains.
Quote, so technically, no one really knows if this immensely powerful entity from the D&D Planescape setting is a god or not. That's because any time someone tries to worship her, she kills them in the most painful way possible. However, she's definitely immortal, giant, and if her shadow so much as falls on you, you will die in incredible agony, unquote.
Godlike power. Doesn't like to be worshipped.
So, Kanye West.
I don't think he has a problem with being
Damn.
worshipped.
I was about to say.
Last on this list of 13 of the strangest deities in Dungeons & Dragons is, and I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, Blipdulpoop.
Never heard of it.
That's the Kobold one, isn't it? Or no, yeah, Kobold, I think.
Quote, the goddess of the Kuotea.
Oh,
Or
okay.
Oh,
Kuoto-
the Koatoa.
Kuotoa.
Yeah, the goddess of the Kuotoa, who are basically mer people in the creature from the Black Lagoon sense. According to Wikipedia, Blildulpoop usually takes a form of a 20-foot-tall, nude human female with a lobster's head and claws in place of humanoid parts. At close range, her gaze causes insanity, which makes perfect sense to me. Still, best deity name ever, unquote.
Yeah, they've got some good ones.
This was an interesting one, also on IO9, according to Esther Inglis Arkell. Damascus swords may actually be stronger weapons than we ever thought before.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, according to legend, a sword from Damascus was
Forged
proved its own
from
might by-
Damascus steel, yeah.
right. It chopped a tree in half, according to legend, with a single blow. Okay. Upon re-examining it using current technology, it is very possible that Damascus steel was an accidental creation long ago of carbon nanotubes.
I think I remember reading an article about this.
Scientists recently took a look at the swords, and they found carbon nanotubes and nanowires embedded in them.
Nice.
Now, Damascus steel actually comes from India. It's 1.5% carbon impurity level and is commonly known as Wootz steel, W-O-O-T-Z. The steel forms a banded structure. There's a central band of Fe3C, which is an iron-carbon combination.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called cementite, surrounded by softer steel. Word is that carbon nanotubes are created when you burn out some of the impurities in carbon, and it turns out that the process of making Damascus steel may have created carbon nanotubes in the creation of the swords.
That's interesting.
It's amazing how technology can come around again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, when I say technology coming around again, the Tampa Bay Lightning got deep into the playoffs of the NHL this year. And they had, in my opinion, one of the most amazing between period entertainment items I have ever seen.
Oh.
V, this may be before your generation. Jesse, I doubt you played it. Steve,
Uh-huh.
do you remember a Nintendo game called Blades of Steel?
Yes.
Nope.
Blades of Steel was there before the NHL licensed characters and players to be in hockey games. You know, companies would come up with all kinds of weird knockoffs of sports games like Mutant League Football.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Blades of Steel was a normal hockey game that had teams from cities, but they had no names associated with them whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay.
The easiest way to win fights was to actually pick a fight with the players and just take out all the players so you can make goals.
Precisely. You wanted to knock out. You were constantly picking fights. Just you always had a 5-on-3 power play,
Yeah.
constantly. But using modern technology and projecting it onto the ice between games, this is apparently what they had between periods at the Tampa Bay Lightning Stadium.
Wow.
They would actually project a faux 8-bit game onto the ice.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, if somebody dragged me to a hockey game and they started this between the periods, I would start arguing, don't send the players back out, just play this through. I want to see who wins. That's a pretty awesome idea, though. That appeals to the kid in me.
Yep.
Who's currently upset about how large I am. There is a robot that also learns new tasks similar to the way a human does. It learns by doing. Researchers at UC Berkeley are developing algorithms that robots can use to learn things through trial and error, just like humans do. That's an interesting idea. It's a learning robot, not necessarily AI. The only thing is, though, I hope that they're using this algorithm not in, medical care robots, because I'd hate for trial and error to run through that. You know, I thought he was getting better, but then I shoved the light bulb in the wrong orifice, and he seems to be getting worse. But hopefully they're going to use this, according to the story, in robots that do more menial tasks. You know, actually screwing light bulbs into sockets, plunging toilets, folding laundry. It'll come up with the basic tools to know how to do it, and then as it's in the environment, it'll learn the proper ways and minor shifts in technique to do it properly. Which sounds like an interesting idea. However, plunging toilets is not something I want you to learn from trial and error. I want you to know how the fuck to do that. Now, Esther Inglis Arkell also came up with a story on IO9 about a spy ring that had its cover blown by giving out the wrong change.
The wrong change?
Yeah, a newsboy in 1953 got a nickel that didn't feel right when somebody was paying for a newspaper, and he thought he'd been cheated. He thought he'd been given a false coin, which was true. He got a coin that was hollowed out in the middle. The nickel had microfilm in it.
Whoops.
There is still not a specific story as to how this nickel got into general circulation. Obviously, it was by accident. The spy that it was supposedly intended for claims to have never received it. No one has owned up to losing it. Even today, 50 years after this whole thing was shaken out and it was discovered, nobody knows who owns this microfilm.
Okay,
Interesting.
Well, what was on the microfilm?
I'm trying to skim the story and find out. It's a little bit vague, but somehow the nickel made its way into the hands of a couple sweet little ladies who apparently used it to buy the newspaper. And because this boy had so much experience with coins, he knew he had a false coin when it was put in his hands. So he threw it down on the ground and was surprised to see it break in two halves with a little bit of microfilm in between. So this newsboy told his friend, and then the friend mentioned it to her father, and then the father mentioned it to a police officer, who then mentioned it to the FBI.
Mentioned.
Word gets around.
Yeah. This is where the narrative breaks down, because the FBI never broke the code on the microfilm in it. So there's never any definitive information as to what information was being passed or whose this was. Could you imagine, though, James Bond being fucked up by just giving out the wrong change to the wrong person?
I would imagine it would happen a lot more than people would think.
It seems like a plot line from Red.
Now,
Yeah.
it gets even weirder because the code didn't get deciphered until 1957 when they found the name of the person this was intended for, Reino Hayanhen. And this person turned himself in 1957. He turned himself in Paris, but Hayanhen decided that he didn't want to end his assignment in America or go back to Russia. So on his flight back, he stopped by the American embassy in Paris and told them everything he knew. Among the stuff this guy had on him was a 50 marka coin from Finland, which was hollowed out in the same way and had another microfilm in it. So they got Hayanhen to decipher the code, and it turned out to be a simple first day on the job instructions for him. It included congratulations for arriving safely, a reminder they've been given a certain amount of local currency, and assurances that he'd get more information soon.
Evidently,
Holy
the last
shit,
part
that-
didn't happen.
There is just so many strange coincidences here. They had microfilm from a false nickel, didn't know how it got there. Then all of a sudden, a couple years later, the guy it's intended for turns himself in, probably looks at this thing and just goes, "Really? You found this? Well, I could tell you, but you're not going to like it."
Or you're gonna laugh.
Yeah.
Well, I can just imagine him sitting there going, "Oh, I thought those fuckers forgot about me."
So there's my birthday card. Taco Bell and Pizza Hut actually came out with some interesting news this week, instead of just, talking about alcohol and stuff.
Okay.
The parent company that owns the two of them have said that they're going to stop using artificial ingredients.
I'll believe
Really?
it when I see it.
Yeah, Taco Bell will stop using black pepper flavor instead of black pepper.
They're going to stop
They're also-
using their artificial meat.
Yeah, they'll stop using artificial yellow dye number 6. It's going to be removed from the nacho cheese. Blue number 1 will be removed from its avocado ranch dressing.
Oh.
And bright pigment called carmine will be removed from its red tortilla strips. They're testing the new recipes in select markets and should be in stores nationwide by the end of the year.
Okay.
Hey, if you're going to shove some bad shit in you, at least you could be less bad shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last up on the nerd interest news, man, this sounds like something straight out of a goddamn sci-fi movie. L'Oreal wants to start doing a new treatment for skin. And no, this doesn't mean a new cream based on the blood of virgins or anything. They actually want to develop 3D printed skin.
Huh.
I could see it.
L'Oreal is teaming up with a French bioprinting startup to develop 3D printed skin for product testing. That's very cool and everything, but you can imagine that if this works, it's going to have two applications. Medical and rich people only.
Yeah.
There's going to be... It'll be weird if this actually develops, because in 20 years, there'll be a bunch of people who look like 20-year-olds dying off because they're 80 years old underneath this stuff.
Hollywood.
Pretty much. Okay. Steve, when I saw you for Fanime, I shared some stories via Last Week Tonight about the interesting level of corruption that FIFA has.
Yeah.
Okay. At the end of the month, there was a new piece of information that came out about FIFA. I'm sure by now everyone has heard that a lot of 15 FIFA officials have been arrested by the U.S. on corruption charges.
Huh.
That did not reach all.
know.
Okay, that didn't reach all the way up to the president of FIFA, Seth Blatter, who was just reelected for a, I think, 5th term. But the highest it got, apparently, was a VP called Jack Warner, who is from Trinidad and Tobago. Okay?
Okay.
When he was arrested, he was released later that day because he claimed exhaustion and needed medical attention, so he left in an ambulance. Later that evening, he was seen partying with friends singing "Everything's Gonna Be Alright," which is just fucking
Irony.
cocky beyond belief. No, it's cocky. He actually believes he's going to get away with everything, obviously. But he released a video a couple days afterward because he read a story. And he said he wanted to know, quote, "If FIFA is so bad, why is it the USA wants to keep the World Cup?" Unquote. He held up a story that said that FIFA Scramble is going to hold a new World Cup tournament in the US in 2015. Now, it turns out that Mr. Warner here is not just corrupt, but incredibly stupid, because the article he held up was from The Onion. Warner's 72. He's facing 12 charges, including accusations of accepting bribes in the process to determine host for the FIFA World Cup in 1998, which was France, and 2010, which is South Africa. I think John Oliver put it the best when he said, "You know that your organization is corrupt when you read an article about this outlandish new thing and say, yeah, that sounds like something we do. Yeah."
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Okay. Have you ever been really mad at people when they steal your food?
Not really.
Thankfully, I haven't really ever had that happen. Usually they come and ask me, "Hey, is it cool if I have this?"
Yeah.
Except for us.
Well, there was a couple people at a barbecue over Memorial Day weekend while we were at Fanime, and things got a little out of hand. Sabrina Davis is 45. She was arrested on charges of criminal recklessness by Muncie police in Indiana, and she was being held pending $5,000 bail. Not big numbers, right?
Right.
The victim of Davis is a lady named Angela Watkins. She told officers that she was upset with Davis for taking too much food at the gathering. Okay, and I could show you a picture, but this Sabrina Davis, the lady who was arrested, large black woman.
Okay.
I mean large, okay? When Angela Watkins tried to keep Davis from grabbing the last rib at the barbecue, Davis stuck a fork in her eye.
Ugh.
That's still.
And
Yeah.
this came disturbingly close. Watkins was treated for 2 cuts to her eyelid.
Wow.
Apparently, after the stabbing with a fork, Watkins armed herself with a knife and probably said something to the effect of, "Come on, bitch!" But, family members intervened to keep the 2 women apart, thankfully. And Davis, in her defense, said that she stabbed Watkins in the eye because she feared Watkins was going to stab her. That's not quite a defense for stabbing someone. I hope you know that.
I got her before she could get me.
Yeah, I stabbed her before she stabbed me. That's why. That doesn't work that way.
We call that paranoia.
Yeah. I would call it covering your ass, but okay. Kotaku had a few interesting stories they put up about nerd rage stories. These were quotes by other people. People sent in their stories of a natural nerd rage and what happened. There's a lot here, and I'm sure I'll link it, but I can read you a couple of these. And dear God, some of this is relatable, at least. The title of one via user Sonico was "Microwaving your game is never the answer."
What?
Quote, mine was a few years ago, but I will never ever be able to forget it. During that time, I was probably the most fixated on trophy hunt than I am now. I was playing Dark Souls, and so freaking close on getting the platinum for it. I was doing some of the phantom killing for the weapon or armor that you get from the guy in the Abyss area. Then I figured out how to save my souls so I wouldn't lose them after I got slayed by a white phantom. My trick was hitting the power switch on the back of the PS3, which had worked a few times during that day. I'm guessing I missed the time part where it auto-saves. Then I tried my trick one last time and rebooted the PS3, and thus getting back onto Dark Souls, only to find out my 130 hours I spent on that game corrupted.
That sucks.
Now I lost my shit. With my heart racing, I closed out Dark Souls to see if that was just trolling me and started it again to see if it was corrupted, and yet my worst fears came true. I was like, fuck, that was 130 hours of my life wasted. Then I recalled one of my clanmates from SOCOM Confrontation who had microwaved one of his games for fun. I was in such a blind rage, I got up from my couch, walked up to my PS3, pressed the eject button, looked at Dark Souls, then walked into my kitchen, put Dark Souls in the microwave, then set the time for 5 minutes. After 1 to 2 minutes. Yeah.
Doesn't
After
take
1
long
to 2 minutes.
destroy those things.
After 1 to 2 minutes, the disc caught fire, which was blue, by the way. Well, that's my rage story. Later, when I think about it, I shouldn't have been a dumbass. I probably would have Dark Souls Platinum, unquote.
Yep. Dark Souls are already a tough game.
Okay, I'll only read one more, and it's the second one here by a user called Chainsaw Freak, and it's titled, That Modem Deserved It.
Okay.
Quote, oh, I had one recently. Diablo 3 had just had its 3rd birthday. I found my way to the cow level and was happily slaying cows here and there. Suddenly, there's this huge spike in latency. It goes from green to red, and it stays red. Mind you, I was playing hardcore, meaning if I get killed, that's it. Character lost forever.
Yep.
So I'm fighting these evil cows, and the queen appears, and the lag is just horrible. I should have found a safe place and logged out, but I said to myself, and then what? Finding the cow level again? I fought. My connection can be quite crappy at times, living in Venezuela. So I assumed it was a problem with my internet. I find the Cow King's ghost. I speak to him, and this horde of cows appears, and that's when the latency betrayed me. The pastures turned into gray, and the cows wouldn't even move. My attacks did nothing. I was quite sure that in the lagless world, my Crusader's head would already be on a pike, or lag spike. The game then kicked me out. You've lost your connection. I am a 29-year-old man. I don't get pissed at a game easily. I was so goddamn upset that I stood up, took my modem in my hand, and started beating it with my fist. You goddamn piece of blarg! The modem broke in pieces, and I felt a profound shame. Apparently, I attacked the modem with such savagery that my mom came from her room, concerned about the ruckus. What happened, she asked. The modem. It broke, I said. How? It fell. How can it possibly fall? It was already on the floor. Mom, I'm very stressed. Give me a moment. I did fix the modem. It's still working fine. Turns out Battle.net, Blizzard's game launcher, was downloading an update for Hearthstone, another game, without telling me anything. For once, it was not my connection. Happy ending, Charlotte, my Crusader, survived.
Oh, good.
Thank you, Blizzard. I don't know, I have mixed feelings here. Have not played since. He ended it by saying, have not played since, unquote.
Wow, I cannot go into such a blind rage like that.
There is
no way.
No.
I swear to you, there is like 25, maybe 30 stories here of nerd rage.
It doesn't
Now-
surprise me.
Yeah. Now, we have seen unusual pictures of animals recently. We have seen we've seen the lion that definitely looked at the photographers at lunch. We've seen the gorilla who looked at the photographer and said, stay away from my woman. And we've also seen the sea lion that looked at a guy's prize fish and said, mine.
And the shark that smiled.
Yeah. Yeah, the shark that definitely said, you look crunchy. How would you like to see a kangaroo that works at Gold's Gym?
Okay.
There is an unusually buff kangaroo that's terrorizing an Australian neighborhood. Take a look at this picture. This guy has guns.
Okay. This guy works out.
There was a resident named Linda Haler who almost ran into the animal when she was walking her dogs one day, and she said, quote, he's very intimidating. He's a big boy. He's got massive, massive muscles, big pecs and everything, unquote. This particular kangaroo, and I'm going to guess they haven't mistaken other buff kangaroos for this particular buff kangaroo, says that this guy has been spotted at nearby golf courses, playgrounds, and walking paths. Apparently, he's so buff, he doesn't give a shit what humans do. The World Animal Federation states that kangaroos can stand between 5 and 6 feet tall. This one is estimated to be around 6'5", which, believe it or not, is the same height as Dwayne Johnson.
I think the kangaroo will win.
Yeah, he also has a distinctive tear in his left ear. Apparently, this guy worked out after he got beat up in school. I wonder if there was a training montage.
One can only hope.
Yeah.
A plate with a picture of the guy that kicked his ass.
Unfortunately, What the Fuck also tends to have stories that either piss us off or make us sad, and this one made me sad. There was a boy that in Montana, he was startled in the middle of Okay, let me start over. There was a boy in Montana. He was startled awake in the middle of the night. And I don't know what the gun laws are in Montana, and this kid had a gun. So he freaked out because a noise came from outside his window. He fired a shot through the window and killed his 15-year-old friend who had been throwing pebbles at it.
Oh my god.
Police in Billings, Montana responded to the call and found the teen with a gunshot wound to his head. One shot. So the one shot was the one that actually did him in. The boy died at the hospital a short time later. The victim was identified as McKeon Schultz. Now, what apparently happened was McKeon and another boy were spending the night together at a house, and they showed up at their friend's house at about 2:30 a.m. on Sunday. They knocked on their friend's window and threw pebbles in an attempt to wake him. According to the statement from Police Chief Rich St. John, quote, when their friend awoke, he was startled by the noise and saw faces outside the window. He didn't know who they were and was scared, unquote. The boy grabbed a gun that was in the bedroom and fired through the window, striking Schultz in the head. The second boy who was outside the window wasn't hurt.
I'm pretty sure he was freaked.
Yeah, they're not releasing the name or age of the shooter or the uninjured friend because they're juveniles, and there's no arrest being made. It was an accident.
Yeah, it's a shame that happened.
Yeah, I don't know what the gun laws are there, but that's just horrible by most measures, I would imagine. Also in our What the Fuck news, I have another list for you. 23 bizarre demands by celebrities made behind the scenes. Okay. Now, these are not contract writers. These are apparent demands that celebrities have made behind the scenes on their shows or projects that were just a little unusual. The first one is by a man who lives in the unusual, Marilyn Manson.
Mm-hmm. I'll be interested in this.
He demanded a bag of gummy bears together with assorted Kool-Aid.
Huh?
It sounds like he was dipping gummy bears in Kool-Aid.
Oh.
He demanded a bag of gummy bears together with assorted Kool-Aid.
Interesting.
Yeah. Number 22 is Born Again... I almost want to say Born Again Psycho, but he's not quite psycho. Kirk Cameron. When he learned that his co-star, Julie McCullough, had bared it all for Playboy magazine a few years prior to meeting, he was a newly minted Christian and demanded she be fired from the show he was working on and replaced by his real-life girlfriend. Bit of an overreaction, I'd say.
A little bit.
Cher has demanded an entire room just for her wigs.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's also a little bit creepy. Jennifer Lopez doesn't like to be distracted by horrible colors. Her dressing room writer requests that she be given a white room with white flowers, white tables, white drapes, white candles, white couches, and tepid water.
Okay.
I would hate to run her backstage, man. That would be fucking horrible. Pretty much have to redesign the dressing room of every stadium across America she appears in.
They probably have to do that a lot, though.
Oh, yeah, we have one here by Gary Busey. Now, while filming the movie Quigley, he refused to film a scene in heaven until the set designers got it right. Busey claims to have seen heaven after a near-death experience in 1988 and wanted to portray it accurately. According to him, the sofa was all wrong and they needed to get rid of the mirrors because heaven has no mirrors. I've seen his recent pictures. I bet he hopes heaven has no mirrors. The next weird celebrity behind-the-scenes demand is by Morrissey. It says here, in 2012, according to Crack.com, Vina Del Mar International Song Festival, the biggest in Latin America, Morrissey demanded that upon his arrival, all staff working in the venue should be locked up in their offices so he wouldn't run into anyone. This included other artists, contestants, and the festival jury. During his show, he had a member of the festival jury expelled from the venue because Morrissey didn't like the way he winked at the camera.
Wow.
He also forbade the international transmission of his show. The festival is transmitted live all over the Americas, but this ended well because the network broadcast the 2006 Daddy Yankee show instead. That's multiple bizarre items at one show. Okay. The next one on this list is Weird Al Yankovic.
Okay.
Okay.
According to Crack.com, you may have noticed that Weird Al Yankovic has a tendency to wear loud shirts. For a while, his contract writer included a demand for a new Hawaiian shirt at each performance. He had hundreds in his closet before he stopped.
Wow.
That's when you know you have too many Hawaiian shirts, when even Weird Al goes, okay, I gotta calm down.
They're starting to get duplicates.
The metal band Van Halen asked for M&Ms backstage, specifying absolutely no brown ones. Why did you not like the brown M&Ms, fool?
What's wrong with the brown M&Ms?
I don't know. Oh, here's one from the Beatles. The Beatles agreed to play in Portland, Oregon back in March of 1965. Their official contract stipulated that the artist will not be required to perform in front of a segregated audience.
That's actually
The contract...
a positive demand.
Yeah, but in the 60s, that'd be a very unusual demand.
Yeah, but...
You know, blacks could sit with whites instead of in a separate section of the audience.
Yeah.
I'm just saying most of these are either negative or neurotic, and that one's actually, like, a good thing.
Yeah. It's like, fuck you and your racism.
Yeah. From a football club, FC Barcelona, Leo Messi, he asked the Hotel Serena Suites to provide his suite with a basketball hoop, 3 jacuzzis, 2 hot, 1 cold, a personal maid, and a pool at precisely 28 degrees Celsius or 82.4 degrees Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fuck, dude, if you're going to ask for that, rent the hotel. Just the whole hotel.
I'm just wondering, 3 jacuzzis? I could see one hot. I guess he just wants one like super hot, one kind of mid, and then dump in the ice bath. For the cold one. I don't know.
The cold one could have been sports therapy.
Yeah.
That's kind of common in a lot of sports teams, but still, 3 jacuzzis in your suite, man. Just go to your sports club, soak up, and then go to your room and go the fuck to sleep, man. Next one is by another man who lives in the weird, Jack Nicholson. While shooting The Departed, Jack Nicholson wanted to incorporate a giant dildo into one of his scenes. He also insisted that he be able to snort cocaine off an actress's bare butt. These were not in the script, but the director, Martin Scorsese, didn't say no and was happy to oblige the Oscar-winning movie star. I don't know about happy. I can imagine Martin Scorsese just going, just let him do it. It'll shut him up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Apparently, Will Ferrell had weird demands, too, at one point. He once demanded a 3-wheeled electric scooter, a Janet Jackson-style headset microphone, a rainbow on wheels, a 6-foot flight of rolling stairs, and an artificial tree.
And a partridge in a pear tree?
I hope he didn't demand all this at once. Because the list altogether is starting to scare me.
I'm just wondering if he's just, people are just like, I wonder if they'll do it. Let's ask.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is kind of weird because it involves a perennial badass from the 70s, Steve McQueen. Now, he starred in The Towering Inferno, and he was apparently so consumed with his rivalry with his co-star Paul Newman that he insisted that the script be rewritten to give him an equal number of lines since both men were sharing the top billing. He insisted the movie posters print his name on the left. The directors and studio complied with his demands, but compromised on the poster design by positioning Newman higher than McQueen. Wow. Does anybody know who Hermeto Pascoal is?
No.
No.
Whoever he is, he asked 2 kids to bring their pigs to the recording studio where he was recording Slaves Mass. He then made the pets squeal at the mic as part of the song. By the album's tour, he asked for local pigs at each presentation since he couldn't travel with his own. Dude, I couldn't even...
Authenticity.
I couldn't even imagine being a producer going around to local farms just going, yeah, my recording artist needs a couple pigs for a little while. Don't ask.
No, you get them back alive.
Authenticity.
Okay, Katy Perry. Pop star Katy Perry apparently has demands that involve her drivers. These rules apparently are paradoxical.
Okay.
And this is a legally binding 45-page contract that also includes the instructions, do not stare at the back seat through the rearview mirror. And it's horribly misspelled. Okay, item number A, driver must stay behind the steering wheel at all times. Item number B, the driver will not start a conversation with the client. Item number C, the driver will not talk to the client's guests or fans. Item D, the driver will never assume. Always ask if in doubt. Wait, you said she can't talk to you. How the fuck is a driver supposed to ask you anything?
She'll be pissed for while you're asking, but she'll be more pissed if you don't ask.
Sounds like a
lady,
woman.
lady, if I can't ask you, I'm going to go off like a firework. He got it. Iggy Pop had a weird demand in a 2006 tour. He asked for a Bob Hope impersonator to tell jokes about golf and Bing Crosby backstage. He knew that was impossible, so he offered alternatives, including 7 dwarves dressed up exactly like they did in the Disney film, or a belly dancer. He also requested his room to be designed by a homosexual artist in an English newspaper with stories about morbidly obese people in it, because morbidly obese people are, quote-unquote, amusing to him.
Okay.
The blue hell, man! How about Mike Myers? He had an interesting demand backstage in the first Shrek film. He wanted to re-record nearly all of his dialogue.
Why?
Okay.
He said, I always thought that Shrek was raised working class, and since Lord Farquaad was played as English, I thought of Scottish. So apparently he recorded all the dialogue, and then after they were done, he made the studio spend an additional $5 million so he could re-record all of his dialogue with that Scottish brogue. So the version we've seen on TV and in film is the one that's re-recorded.
I have to say, he made a good choice.
I wonder what the original was.
I don't know.
Clint Eastwood had a weird demand at one point. During filming The Outlaw Josie Wales, he demanded that the casting of Sandra Locke and the firing of director Philip Kaufman so he could direct the movie himself, reducing Kaufman's access to his girlfriend at the time. This resulted in the DGA instituting the Eastwood rule. No director can be replaced by any actor or producer from that movie.
Almost got to screw it up for everyone else.
Yep. In 2011, the Foo Fighters had a contract writer that had a very distinct style that they gave to their venues explaining their demands, starting with the instructions. Colored pencils work best. Don't cheat on the maze. Originality, creativity, and pure sarcasm are what we're looking for. Remember to stay outside of the lines. No one likes a straight-A student. Chicks dig scars. Men should never wear turtlenecks. Ty Cobb is the greatest baseball player of all time. And their contract writer came in the form of a coloring book.
Fuck.
For a delicious breakfast versus a dad breakfast, good versus bad salads, a lame entree versus an awesome entree, tasty snacks. There were then activity pages, like a maze as discussed in the above instructions, circle the items that don't belong in a salad page, and a word search that has a secret message to be followed when solved. It ends with illustrated instructions on the kinds of ice they like. Their two favorites are both Hoshizaki America, the ice pimps of the world, and the Flaker, which is a lot like getting a Hummer and a Corvette. Then the Chunklet, which makes them squeal like 6-year-old girls with skin knees when they see it. Holy shit, I'd almost wish I'd work in stadiums these guys were on. I'd be busy for hours. Wow, Dick Cheney, the former VP of the U.S. and a recent contributor on Fox News, his demands was that all televisions are to be tuned to Fox News upon his arrival. Wow, okay. Here's another one. Jackie Gleason demanded that his writers never address him or speak to him, or that they just leave their scripts under his door. According to Carl Reiner, Gleason was so obnoxious that his treatment of the writers was the inspiration for Alan Brady on the Dick Van Dyke Show, but they often had to soften it. Wow.
They probably had some things to say.
Yeah. Has anyone watched The Black Rose?
Nope.
Nope.
While to play Genghis Khan in the 1950s film, Orson Welles had one demand. The coat he was to wear in his scene had to be mink-lined, even though the lining is never seen on camera. After filming, the coat disappeared, only to turn up in Orson Welles-produced Othello in 1952, turned inside out. Okay. And the weirdest demand on this list, and the last one, is by Lady Gaga. One of her demands included a mannequin with pink puffy pubic hair.
What?
I shit you. That's all it says.
These people are definitely just making requests to see if, you know.
Yeah.
Who would want a mannequin with a purple merkin?
Merkin?
Pink.
Yeah, it's a muff wig. Purple curly pubic. Never mind.
Pink. I said pink.
I think it was purple. I just closed the window, but that's beyond fucking weird to me. I know Gaga is like one of the queens of weird, but that is just way the fuck beyond what I think is normal.
I don't know. Her meat suit is the one that always makes me blink.
I wonder if she got trichinosis wearing it. Yeah, it was puffy pink pubic hair. Okay. Yeah, I don't see the appeal. I have a video for what the fuck. How would you like to see a sniper get completely outclassed in Counter-Strike?
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I sent the video. You can see the sniper, he's watching some kind of item. He's definitely trying to get the drop on somebody.
Surprise,
I don't know what that is.
motherfucker.
What you didn't know is that... What you didn't see is that someone popped up in the scope of the rifle the guy was looking down. You just saw his eyes, and then he blew the man out of his boots. Turns out, according to the replay, this guy was stalking around him for quite some time.
Just didn't see him. That's great.
Sucks to be him. Okay, last in the what the fuck corner is something that is a combination of one of the funniest things I've ever heard and also one of the saddest. This was in Syracuse, New York, according to a story on roastroom.com. A couple had to go to the ER. And they checked into the ER, stuck to one another in a sexual position. Martha Wiseman is age 36. Matthew Kaleda is age 41. They went to emergency services because they mixed up their bottle of sex lube with a bottle of super glue.
Oh, God.
Oh,
God.
Ow! Ow!
Oh.
Ow!
Now, as you can imagine, dozens of people in the ER found this very curious. Paramedics covered the duo with
curious
blankets,
is not
but
the right word.
yeah, paramedics were nice enough to cover them with blankets. However, it was still very obvious that they were naked and stuck to each other in the genitals. One woman identified as Mimi Albert, who is an 83-year-old patient, she said, quote, "This is absolutely disgusting. They're nothing but a bunch of perverted exhibitionists. Everyone was taking pictures of them," unquote.
I'm
doubt that was
sure
by
they would have
choice.
stopped them had they been able to, you old bats.
Oh yeah, how about this? Apparently, there was a very delicate and complex surgery that lasted a little over 3 hours to separate them.
Jesus.
They came out of this suffering only minor injuries. I'm sorry.
Thank God.
Considering the areas we're talking about, no injury is minor. Everyone hurts.
I don't know. I would think some injuries would be more than others, but yeah, no. Oh, fuck.
Now, apparently how this happened is that Kaleda, the 41-year-old, he told the doctors that he was a passionate architectural scaled models, and in the rush of things, he accidentally took a tube of super glue instead of his lubricant tube because they were both of similar shape.
Oh.
The couple would have noticed the mistake about 30 seconds later, but by then it was 30 seconds ago and it was already too late. Now, the couple, Martha Wiseman and Matthew Kaleda, have refused to speak to journalists after being discharged from the hospital. Gee, you wonder why?
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame them.
On a positive note, it's only the second incident of this nature to occur in the state of New York.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only the second this year in 2015. In 2013, in 2013, this happened to 27 couples.
Darwin Awards here.
I have a suggestion.
I have to say, I probably will never buy another thing of super glue again.
I have a suggestion. Stop keeping your super glue next to your sex lube, you idiots.
Right.
It's real fucking simple. God damn it, this would save so many things.
But we get nothing to talk about.
At least no one's made them put a warning label on it.
How much you want to bet there was already a warning label on it from prior years?
Oh, well, I mean, there's always a thing, don't get on skin, so on and so forth. I guess they could make the argument. No, it's already on there.
Okay, now because our interview unfortunately is either delayed or fell through, I have shared with everyone a 30-minute short film of a project we talked about very early in the inception of the show, of the Laser Unicorns crowdfunded project Kung Fury, the story of an 80s cop in an 80s situation taking care of an 80s problem. That's about as cleanly as I can describe it.
80s.
Yeah, are we set to go through this monster? Because we can watch it and talk about it as it occurs.
Let's get this retro nightmare over with.
Yeah, let's make sure that my... Oh, yep, it plays. Good.
Okay. Ready to kick this stupid pig?
Yep.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh my god, it looks like a VHS.
It does. I kind of dig
I'm
it.
having flashbacks of so many 80s shows I've watched right now.
Right?
Not to mention all the animes and everything. This is awesome. Miami, 1985.
They went out of their way to put that VHS distortion.
What?
Yeah. Well, anybody can do that with Photoshop these days.
Whoa!
There goes the car!
The boom
Hey,
box.
Murphy!
I like the blaster. Ah, he stole it!
Everybody's just hanging out like, no, that happens all the time.
Yeah, it's not that
Oh,
unusual.
And an
Unicorn
empty
died.
arcade.
You lose. We should have let him go fuck himself.
No, it's an Asian Mr. T.
Actually, that's a very pissed off game. Oh. It liquefied his skull.
I love the fact that he's shooting all the while still flipping people off. Oh, the burning baby carriage.
Oh, I know, that's so brutal. Just wants
Insert
coin.
coin. Insert coin.
Someone get a fucking coin!
He got it. Of course, he has a pagoda on top of a skyscraper. Filled with all this shit.
And the leopard print.
Japanese architecture with American memorabilia.
Kung
Was
Fu,
that
remember,
a
he's
stuffed
Chinese.
raptor head?
Probably. Well, he
Oh
looks
wow,
serious.
Christopher went back in time to do his Batman voice. Holy crap!
Crush the phone handle! Wait, you had a door!
Why did he shoot the fucking car? That doesn't even physics.
Alright, that's as redneck as you
No,
can
the
get.
puppy! Don't kill the puppy!
Shoot it! Shoot it!
Need for speed, let's go!
Oh my god.
Hardcastle and McCormick, the hardcore years.
Yay, the puppy's safe.
Alright.
And now
seriously?
it's sliding.
Hey, tracking! Tracking! We're doing the video!
All of a sudden they're on a helicopter.
Man, this makes me want to watch VHS again.
What do you think the pilot of that chopper is thinking right now? Oh, only on Tuesdays.
Up in outer space. Okay.
Wow. Is that Hubble?
I think that's a Hubble. You killed the Hubble! Okay, early opinions.
This is ridiculous.
It's awesome.
I dig it.
Totally walking away from the explosion.
And damn good at my job.
Yep,
Are
makes
you?
me feel like I'm 10 years old.
In the line of duty, me and my partner were chasing down a mysterious kung fu.
Oh, great, an origin story.
You're under arrest, punk.
Show us your hand.
Because Kung Fu Masters are very common in New York City. Or no, this is Miami.
Kill both of us with that crazy stuff. But goddammit, you're the best partner I've ever had.
Thanks.
And he's
I learned
Are
my
they-
best.
Are they doing bad dub voices?
Yes.
Like a father to
Yep.
me.
Awesome.
One fatal blow, it hit my partner.
Oh no, he said he's like a
I
father.
could tell it was dead straight off.
Whoa!
Dude. I could tell he was dead?
That is some epic
Rugged
blood.
bullet trigger.
It's
No
still
kidding, man.
moving!
I was hit by lightning and bitten by a cobra. I blacked out.
Okay. Struck by lightning and bitten by a cobra. That's a bad thing.
Right?
Mastering the art of kung fu There was an ancient prophecy about a new form of kung fu so powerful.
That's when he realized he was high.
The chosen one.
Why do I hear Keanu
When I
Reeves?
woke up,
I'm hearing it too. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I could feel my body mutate into some sort of kung fu freak of nature.
Mutating into a kung fu freak of nature. Love it. Dude!
You are the chosen one.
This looks like William Shatner trying to do karate.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Knuckles.
Flash
Okay.
kick!
Superman punch! Where'd the truck come from?
It takes the guy's burning
I
uniform
put
and
on a
makes
strip
it
of
into a
cloth from
headband.
dead kung fu
Oh,
master.
God.
I decided I would use
Oh,
my new
for
super
Christ's
kung fu
sakes.
powers to fight crime.
It's like every 80s trope wound together. I love it.
Became Kung Fury.
It's not even like it makes sense.
I haven't seen like a lot of kung fu movies, and this still is awesome.
Oh, man. What?
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 David Sandberg, whoever that is.
I don't know.
Triceratops is Triceratops.
Oh, DeLorean. Okay. Now we're firmly 80s.
The tape.
God, remember when everybody who had money was carrying one of those? Gigantic ghetto blasters.
And
They're
now
like
the Terminator.
shells.
Nope.
Not
the
exactly.
Kung Fuhrer.
The Kung Fuhrer.
I don't want to hear it, Kung Fury. I just got back from City Hall. $50 million
Dope.
worth of damages.
Terminator.
And I got the mayor up my ass like a fag on Viagra.
No, that was Kung
I
Fuhrer.
wanted to explain this to the press.
Oh, and there's a police chief that argues about every frickin' thing you do.
For Christ's sake.
Did you tell me to block it out?
Told you to do it by the book.
Cut the bullshit. Nobody else in this bar could have stopped that arcade machine, and you know it.
How exactly do you fight an arcade machine by the book?
Right?
Listen to me, Kung Fury.
I'd be worried if they have a
You need to
book for
start
that.
following the
Yeah, that shouldn't happen often enough where there's
I'm
rules.
signing you a new partner.
What? Hell no, I work alone.
Not anymore, you don't. Say hi to your new partner, Triceratops.
Very nice meeting
I
Looking forward to working with you.
like how every time he says something, the actor looks like he's actually trying to read something held up in front of him.
I work alone.
Either you team up with Triceratops, or you're off the case.
I love how
Why?
the tongue didn't get cut.
But quit.
Yeah, is he actually worried the Kung Fu Masters are going to come for every one of his partners?
Miami Vice.
Oh, that brick cell phone!
Oh, God.
You could beat someone to death with those things.
It's bigger than the gun.
Bigger than the gun.
What the hell is this? Chief McNichol speaking.
And he knows how to use that already. Okay.
Yeah, this is the police. Crack you!
What?
Shooting through the phone to get to the police. This is so bizarre. How many bullets are in that gun?
I need someone to trace
As
that
many as
call.
they need there to be.
That's impossible. Not for me, it isn't.
You just shot it. How are we going to trace it?
You're worried about how many
Weird
bullets
out.
are in his gun. I'm trying to figure out how the hell he's
He's the
shooting
most
people through a
powerful hacker of all
landline.
time.
Let's just
Oh my
assume
God.
that can be done.
Follow me.
You know what? If a mouse can beat up a cat through a phone line, I imagine bullets are much easier to explain.
Collect the cell phone signal. Trace the caller. His name is Adolf Hitler.
Hitler.
He triangulated the call even though he wasn't on any equipment, huh?
I guess you could say that. In the 1940s, Hitler was a kung fu champion. He was so good at kung fu that he decided...
I love the fact that the hacker had to ask him, do you know who he is? It's fucking Hitler. Of course I know who it is.
Stop there. He knew of the Kung Fury prophecy and wanted to claim the throne. So he and his posse of Nazi soldiers conducted
You know, I look at this scene of him in front of that giant brass albatross and I wonder where the Bionic Commando is.
They weren't able to
Kung
figure
Fu.
out how to master the art of Kung Fury. And one day, he disappeared from the face of the earth. And no one has seen him ever since. Until now. I guess he figured if he could find a chosen one and kill him, he would become Kung Fury himself. He must have traveled in
The
time
way he's
to a
crunching his
day
face reminds me of
probably
Popeye
might
from
explain
the
first place.
old ass movie.
So what are you gonna do?
Reminds me of Clint Eastwood from his old movies.
I'm gonna go back in time to Nazi Germany.
Does anyone else think the hacker looks like Weird Al?
Yeah, that's my first thought too.
I'm not sure.
Not mine. He looks like what Jared would look like if he had more hair.
Wait a minute. Using an RX modulator, I might be able to conduct a mainframe.
Yeah, you're right.
cell
His hair's not
access
curly
into
enough
the
for a
download.
Weird Al.
What the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
It means that with the right
It
computer
was just in the
algorithms, I can
face
hack
and
you back in time.
eyebrow and
Yeah.
mustache,
glasses.
I guess. Yeah, and the glasses.
Well then.
See, this must be what we saw in the promo back when they were crowdfunding about hacking time, supposedly. The power
Power
glove.
of holy crap!
Oh, God, I'm having so many flashbacks in movies that made sense when I was a kid.
Uh,
He's standing on the keyboard.
I love
isn't that
that
the bomb
there's-
half of a Mac?
Math power.
He's not even typing anymore.
E equals MC cubed.
Are you
Are you
about
sure?
are you- No.
You are about to hack time. Are you sure? Fuck, let me think about this.
Why?
Nope, he's ready.
Break?
I think this whole movie's broken, but that's the brilliant part about it. And he's gone. If he goes far enough, he might run into Tron.
Oh, wow.
Hacking too much time.
It's accelerating. I would like to know the definition of hacking too much time.
Apparently, right there.
It's dark.
He went back to the
Ooh,
beginning.
rocks.
He's the
Beginning
one.
of what? Kung Fu?
He's the one.
Apparently he's gonna find Conan.
Paramount Pictures? Where are the stars?
Wonder where this landscape is. It's actually pretty.
It kind of reminds me of Northern Europe, actually.
It's like
Yeah,
Nova
like a
Scotia or something.
Icelandic
Yeah.
fjord or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking Norway.
I played way too much Skyrim to know that.
Hey, a raptor!
With laser beam eyes.
That's a laser
Oh.
raptor. From thousands of years ago.
What? You thought they went extinct? Nobody told me about laser raptors.
Alright, dinosaurs
My
got
school-
cooler.
My history teacher lied to me.
Dinosaurs got cooler, except I didn't know raptors existed when I was 10.
It's been shot by a woman riding a wolf with a Gatling gun.
I love this movie.
My name is Barbariana.
Of course it is.
Barbariana.
What year is this?
It's the Viking.
Okay, you are instantly like 8 times as hardcore now that I know that.
Fuck. I went too far back in
I'm
time.
naming a character
Get out
Barbariana.
of this valley. This place is swarming with laser.
The newest City of Titans character, Barbariana.
Katana can help you get there.
Who's Katana?
I'm Katana. I can give you a ride to Asgard.
Okay.
Right on what?
Mortal Kombat Katana or Sword Katana? Oh shit! Not the T.
Oh,
Fighting
wow.
a T-Rex.
It's a pretty small T-Rex, though.
Yeah,
That's a baby.
they tamed it.
And there goes Indiana Jones with snakes on a plane.
So, who are you?
I'm a cop from the future.
I love the spiked brassiere she's wearing for no reason.
Kill Hitler, but I accidentally went back too far in time.
Look at, I'm a cop from the future, as if that explains every frickin' thing to her. Then again, it's an 80s film ripoff, so it probably does.
She's got more muscles than he does.
I love the distortion effects they're doing.
And she's summoned Thor.
Katana,
wearing...
but yet she wields an axe.
And Thor is wearing less than she is. Equality.
He's also
Behold, it
he's
is
a little older.
Holy shit.
son of Odin,
Yeah, he's got guns.
of mankind. Check out my pecs. Thanks, bro.
I like it.
Bro.
Check out my pecs.
So, anyway, Thor, this is Kung Fury. He's a cop from the future.
Yeah, I need to get.
No, have a pose down with Thor. That would be part of the movie.
So, if you could help me with
Hammer time.
Oh, God.
And you shall end up.
Man, you know somebody worked hard when they have to work in an MC Hammer joke.
Kung Fury.
Thanks, Thor.
The dubbing is awful.
Well, looks like
That's the point.
I know.
Future cop, where are you going?
Take her with you.
You know what?
And again, it's like this happens every fucking day.
And use this phone to call me.
What?
Personally transportable.
Whoa!
Cellular telephone.
A phone number and a phone.
645 kilometers speed dial. And an electronic
This is
security
fucking
lock.
bizarre.
This revolution in communication could make it possible for more and more people to have a phone in their car.
Well, at least we know who sponsored the movie.
An ad promo?
So, do we eat it?
Nazi Germany.
Nazi Germany. Not to be confused with regular Germany, apparently.
So they have no Fanta. No, wait. They have Fanta.
They just created Fanta.
Alright, so where's Wolfenstein Castle?
I think that's what they're sitting in front of. They're actually arguing over whether their mustache is Aryan or not. Yours looks like pews from a dog hooker. A hooker dog. You look like you fell into a hairy ass with glue stuck to your lip.
I wonder
Fuck, you nailed my mustache.
actually speaking.
I seriously doubt
No,
it.
das ist eine Aryan mustache. That sounded right. No, actually, they're saying the actual words. Dinah mustache.
He's crying. He's crying over being insulted over his blonde mustache.
Wo ist der Frank?
Tank's gone. Oh! Shit!
Thank you.
Whoa!
Did he seriously just say that?
Yep, he
Oh
punned
my
it.
god.
It's the 80s. It's full of bad puns. It's where Arnold Schwarzenegger made his damn career.
No, he made his career in bad puns in the 90s playing Mr. Freeze. The rest of it was just setup. I wonder how many guys are actually in those masks, because you know they didn't actually fill a room full of these guys. There must be like 3 of them.
Yeah.
And of course, when you have a cadre full of bad guys just before the villain's going on the attack, this means it's the fight montage.
Yep.
Tank!
I'm just.
Yeah, he disarmed him. What? Armed copter? Okay, anybody wants to explain that to me, I will listen, but I still won't care.
No.
Ooh, sunglasses. He's serious. You know what? I am loving this, but I don't know who I'd share this with. Because I don't know a lot of people that would understand half this shit.
Who does? Who cares? You don't have to understand
Anyone
it.
our age who's lived through this.
I haven't, like I said, I haven't even seen Kung Fury. Fuck it, you know what I'm trying to say.
You know what? Just to be clear, did he scare one guy off by flexing?
No, he
I wasn't
scared him
looking.
off by like headbutting some other dude.
Okay, someone's watched way too much Street Fighter.
This is Street Fighter.
Actually, I'm thinking Streets of Rage.
No,
Oh, backhand!
Tekken! It's Tekken.
Oh! Oh my
I
god!
like how everyone's just milling around in the background.
The bodies are just dropping. Did he leave those up there, or is somebody throwing them?
He just stands still, they all just start falling over.
Oh, it's his awesome aura. It's his awesome aura beating the shit out of him without moving.
Slides on him. Fucking skateboarding.
Oh, he's skating on it! Kick flips!
Oh! Takes him to pieces, throws him. Oh god.
And he's chucking his arm.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh! Jesus!
Wow.
Okay, there's the Mortal Kombat.
That was actually
Oh, it makes the fucking nuts.
Swastika.
Wow. That's a really well-placed Gatling gun. Right in the center of the podium where I'm sure he's stuffing his dick in it.
Oh, he got shot.
Well,
He does look concerned. There are holes in him.
Alright, now he's gonna have the epic moment of coming back or something.
Yep.
It's hard to take anybody serious when his declaration is "fuck you, Kung Fury." It's almost like inviting somebody. Hey Steve, the way the Kung Fury is posing reminds me of me playing Mario, the Cosplay Wrestling Federation. Oh, you hear that?
Oh, sounds like Thor's coming.
That sounds like Thor entrance, yeah. Still not wearing a shirt.
And
It's
almost had
Thor.
a convenient costume mishap.
Yeah, that was pretty close. I hope there's a full piece under that loincloth.
Yeah, I really hope so too.
Because I'd really hate to see him drop Mjolnir and his hammer.
Cop and the hacker. What the fuck?
And the T-Rex and the two Vikings. Wow. He just turned to a mecha geek? I don't know. Oh, at least they brought the guns.
He's completely
Something
outclassed.
Yeah, something Triceratops is unimportant here. And Dubstep Blaster. Oh, it looks like he's about to throw the hammer and then he just lightly
and then
puts
he's
it
like,
forward.
nope, lightning out of it. The fucking D-Res.
God. You have to sweep that up when you're done? Oh,
Okay.
oh my god. Oh,
shooting him all with a
dick shooter. He's a dick shooter. He's amazingly accurate dick shooter.
Oh!
And then he gets eaten.
Well, you know, that's a mercy at that point.
Yeah, there's no point in living after that. The liquefied lightning blaster are a little bizarre.
That's what you're pointing out as bizarre?
That's one item that kind of sticks out to me.
All right, Hitler.
Poor guy lost his
Speak it
dick.
up. Show me your hands.
Alright, Hitler, the gig is up. I bet that's on the top list of things you never thought you'd say as an actor.
I like he's just like, okay, I'm gonna shoot that now.
Notice how easily he moved over to it? Like, Mecha Bird. Seen that before.
Hagerman, have you seen Kung Fury?
Ooh, monster fight.
Oh no. We were too late.
How could you not notice the one half-brown person in the middle of all this white?
Oh god, and now we're in cartoons.
Oh, not even that. Do you recognize what this is based off of?
Transformers?
This is
No,
based
pole
off of
position.
Pole position.
It's fucking...
No
Oh,
mask.
It's fucking...
Mask.
Yep, now it's masked.
And now it's Tron. And now it's any 80s cartoon ever.
I was pretty sure that last one was from Silverhawks.
Yeah.
He-Man. I recognize the little floating thing that they're flying.
That is incredibly phallic.
That's supposed to be some Pentor?
Or
Or
was a
Cobra.
minute ago, anyway.
Kung
His name is Cobra.
Spirit animal.
What the hell is this place?
This is heaven. I'm afraid you're dead.
What?
This is heaven?
So real.
It looks like Eternia.
It's totally real.
It looks what the fuck?
I'm a police officer. I need you to send me back to Earth.
I'm sorry. I can't help you with that. You see,
He
you're
tells me if he's a spirit animal. He doesn't give a shit if you're a cop.
Arrest
What?
for obstruction of justice. You're breaking the law.
Huh?
DBZ.
Or this is North Star.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What the hell happened?
And we're back.
Thanks.
You tell us. That
Hacked
was
away all your bullet wounds.
What the hell?
Oh, look at the two monsters with arms that can't reach. Oh, tail slap. So is he in trouble or no?
I want to welcome you and your
Oh god, unfocus on the lip. Unfocus on the lip.
We are not so different, you and I.
It disturbs me. It looks like the actor actually had to grow that.
You know, we're red. You know, so that's cool.
Red.
Doing moves. Yeah, check it out.
He's trying.
Yeah, yeah. And killing people. I love it. You clearly do too. And that's cool. Join me. Be brothers.
That's fair. He is pretty good at killing.
It's almost like we finish each other's
balls.
That?
Oh.
Yeah, this movie is obsessed with nuts.
So was the 80s.
Hammer time.
That hammer's suddenly a lot bigger.
Oh my.
You're talking about his hammer, not his thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
He's old and gross.
You're the best damn partner I've ever had.
I came back in time for you, Kung Fury. Because
How is he the best partner you ever had? All he does is shoot people in the dick.
And, you know, they haven't actually partnered.
Yeah. You haven't even seen him try to arrest anybody.
The fuck?
So, what happens now?
When the fuck did
Whoa,
Grimlock
he
start?
can talk?
Well, I need
Grimlock smash? I don't know.
Looks like it's gonna be a hell of a lot of people.
Has anyone asked if Hackerman can turn back to normal?
Well,
April.
let's hope so. No, he decides he likes it that way, and he's just going to create a fembot.
What possible paper could he be doing
2 days
this?
earlier in the future?
Okay, I just bent my brain. Oh, we're back to the arcade machine.
Yeah.
You know.
Open the doors, Hoff.
I'm sorry, Fury.
Open the doors, Hoff.
Oh god, it's the Hoff.
I can't let you open the
The Hoff 9000. It's a kit ripoff.
Open the doors.
I'm sorry.
Fucking Knight Rider.
Open the doors.
Did anyone ever tell you not to hassle the Hoff 9000?
Oh, Hoff 9000. Son of a...
Oh god, he worked in a Hasselhoff joke. Son of a bitch is a right turn for that.
Piece of shit.
Piece of shit. This is a scene where somebody traveled back in time, right?
Yeah, this is where Kung Fury first showed up.
Okay.
And now we
And now
see...
it's
What's left of him, isn't that? The important thing is that he's gone.
Uh-oh.
So he's
So he's
merged
back
with
with
the bird?
I
No.
don't know about merge. It definitely traveled with him this time. Oh no, he's fine.
Game over. Wait a minute.
Is it sad that I like the flipping off robot?
I've seen that symbol before.
Yeah, it's a Nazi symbol now. Yeah, of course. Not know that symbol. My ass!
Hitler.
Glad he remembered.
Wow.
Damn. Okay, so...
That was fun.
Wow.
Would you give this to other people, though?
Yes. The people I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not take this to a party and just be like, dude, you gotta watch this shit. But, yeah.
No, get them drunk first.
I don't know about drunk, maybe give them a couple blunts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely no shrooms. They would be freaking out.
Well, the film was met with mostly positive reviews. They got an A from Latino Review. They called it What Black Dynamite Got So Perfect About Blaxploitation Films. This does wonderfully for 80 cop movies.
Yeah.
Kung Fury is the Avengers Assemble if it had been made in the 1990s. This actually got shown at the Cannes Film Festival.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I would have liked to have seen somebody record that. The reactions must have been hilarious.
It was selected to screen in the director's Fortnite section of the 2015 Cannes Film Festival, and it lost only to Rate Me from the UK.
To what?
Rate Me.
Oh, okay.
I heard Rape Me.
That's what I heard too. I was like, wait, what?
Everybody hears what they want to hear. But the director of the film has actually said they got what they wanted out of the crowdfunder, but if they get enough interest from film studios, they wouldn't mind actually making a full theatrical release version.
Fuck yeah. That
You know, stretching this out into an actual 90-minute feature.
Dude.
Well,
Unfortunately, the 80s produced so much material, you could easily come up with a 90-minute movie of this.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
you could just extend all the sequences just a little bit.
Dude, Jeremy, you actually have to get someone to link up our audio with our viewing with the actual video.
Unfortunately, I can do that. I actually have that capability. I've been doing it with every video we watch. This is...
I think he meant like actually having a video for the show.
Oh, you mean the four of us sitting somewhere and like two-screening it?
No. Like showing the Kung Fury and then overlaying our voices on top of it, right?
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
MST3K style.
Yeah, exactly.
We'd have to sit down and watch it in one place.
I don't know.
Take this audio recording.
Take this audio recording and sync it up with the video.
I do that for podcasts all the time. It'd be much easier than you think. But this has been a fun distraction, I must admit. This reminds me a lot of smelling bad vinyl and sitting with stupid action figures like waving at the screen.
We could do this again. Like maybe...
At Comic-Con?
Sure.
She sounds worried.
We need something just as stupid to watch.
Oh, anybody with a birth date between like 1960 and 1985 should definitely watch this. This is fucking hilarious.
Hey, I'm 87. I like it, so...
There's so many things that just made me scratch my head, but I ignored it because of how happy this made me. That stupid pagoda on the top of the building.
Dude, I seriously want to make a Barbariana.
You want a Barbariana cosplay?
Barbariana. Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
Oh, awesome. Jesse, you get to be Thor.
I don't have the apps for that.
Oh, that was awesome. This was done by Laser Unicorns. It was crowdfunded about a year and a half ago. Actually, in the beginning of 2014. So yeah, a year and a half ago. It was just released on May 28th. You can find the film, or short movie, I should say, at kungfury.com. And believe it or not, it's unlimited viewings and downloads for just $5.
It's just... damn.
It's well worth it.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is great. There's actually, they're working on a trailer, or they made a game based on this. They call it Kung Fury Street Rage.
Nice.
According to the website, quote, "We made a game. Now you can punch and kick criminals in the comfort of your home or lounge, outside sipping on a pina colada with a tiny umbrella." They actually have a trailer for the game already. It's available on iTunes, Google Play, Steam, and the WinStore.
Wow.
Give me a Triceratops shooting simulator.
Oh, yeah. You know, can you hit the dick? I'm sorry, he's a crack shot, but he needs to find a better target.
I
Now
have
we
to
should all
argue that shooting somebody in the dick, they're probably not going to be able to shoot you back because they're too busy holding themselves.
You know what? I'm looking at the trailer for the video game, and frankly, this looks like a fun beat 'em up, man. This is it's a slightly updated Streets of Rage.
About to say we could all just play the game together next time.
Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, actually, I'm going to look it up on Steam. Why not?
This is available on Steam, iTunes, it looks like on Android, and the Windows Store. Well, it starts out with a familiar Lamborghini. Oh, do you start the game at the arcade? Oh god, yes you do. Oh look, there's Triceratops and Hackerman. Dear god! He's making them explode with the punches. Oh, it's the Aryan Kung Fu lady, okay.
Street Rage.
Kung Fury Street Rage. Wow. Why, hello there. Holy shit.
Wow.
I actually found something I might actually play on my cell phone, too. It was published on June 2nd. It's available. It's arcade-style beat-em-up, Nazi fights, stereo sound music, state-of-the-art, true-color graphics, and even more Nazi enemies to beat.
$1.99.
Oh, it's $2, huh?
Yep.
Huh. God damn it, I never wanted to spend money on my phone. But I might. Alright, I think that was mostly positive, though. That was fun. That was a lot of fun, and now I'm going to have a nightmare about a Triceratops shooting me right in the balls. Which would only make sense if you've seen the film, for fuck's sake. Otherwise, it sounds like I've had a psychotic break.
I'm sure his therapist will have a field day with that.
Oh, you know what we ought to do at Comic-Con?
What?
We should hook it up so that we can watch the movie, but we have to sit Brandon and Anthony down, too.
Yes!
We have to make them watch.
How old is Brandon?
Brandon's around our age.
Oh, okay. I know Anthony's is not close to our age.
Oh, no. But it'll be fun to torture him either way. He'll either laugh or he'll cry. Either way, it's going to be really good for pods.
We are going to record this.
I love this. About this game, and at the very bottom it has a disclaimer that says, not enough Nazis were harmed in the making of this game.
Oh, shit. That might be the first time I've ever wanted to ask somebody, would you cosplay as something from this movie just because I want to see it? Alright, next week I think we should get into the Secret Wars. We put off talking about comic books way too long.
Yeah.
You know, and the Secret Wars is only 3 issues deep, might be 4 by next week, I have to check the calendar, so there's not a lot of reading there.
Okay.
Alright? Well, thank you for tuning into this confusing but interesting episode. I invite you to roll with us again next week. We talk the Secret Wars. Thank you very much. Have a good one. I am Jeremy.
Steve.
Jesse.
And V.
Don't jerk and drive, and for God's sakes, if you do, don't use the super glue. Thank you very much.
Watch out for wandering laser raptors.
And don't hassle the Hoff 9000.
Yeah, he won't open the door.